Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Jeff Rust with your Sports Center update. First on The Fan, the Trailblazers road trip continues this afternoon in Toronto against the Raptors. 4:30 tip on KUNP, Xfinity Channel 302 or K2 2.2 on your antenna. DeAndre Ayton, Scoot Henderson, Robert Williams III are all out. Jeremy Grant is doubtful and Anthony Simons is questionable. The Blazers are 5-point favorites. ESPN Shams Charania reporting 76ers star guard Tyrese Maxey has been ruled out for the rest of the season with the finger tendon injury. And ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting the Cowboys have acquired quarterback Joe Milton III and a 7th-round pick from the Patriots for a 5th-round pick. Round 1 of the Valero Texas Open at TPC San Antonio, and Kashmir Keith Mitchell with a round 1 as fine as his nickname would imply, an 8 under 64. He is 2 strokes clear of Brian Harmon, who's also in the clubhouse at 6 under. Tony Finau tied for 6th, 5 strokes off the pace at 3 under par. Jimmy Walker, dynamite through 5. He is 1 under par. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now, Window Nation brings you on-demand videos. Watch Window Nation's window into 1080 The Fan. This is Danny and Dusty.
Meringatang is going to be a thing.
You're not coining anything new.
With Danny Meringue and Dusty, the Fan Man Hera.
I'll throw some monkey sounds in there and call it good.
The old Danny Meringue pie.
Danny and Dusty on the Odyssey app and 1080.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome.
The Fan.
Good afternoon. Hey, what's up, everybody?
Wow.
How we doing?
Wow.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
You
What?
Knock that off.
What?
You're far too happy.
Being happy?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm pumped today.
What
I'm
are
pumped.
you so happy about?
Oh, dude, Little League season starts today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Little League is great. Well, I know a lot of like the actual Little League has been going on,
Yeah.
you know, for a while, for a lot of teams. But there's something about baseball season as a kid
Oh, God, yeah.
that it just rocks.
No, I mean, we've talked about this. Getting your bat ready or getting your mitt ready. And
Yeah.
The sound of like, it's one of the cool things about living in a neighborhood is like kids playing catch.
Yep.
That moving in there during COVID, it was a ghost town.
Mm.
You saw nobody, you heard nobody. I still have not met my neighbor directly across the street. They kind of creep me out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, they
They
are,
kind of creep you out?
Yeah,
Maybe they
they're-
think the same thing about you.
I was like,
Well, I'm quite jovial when I'm outside my house. Anybody who walks by, definite head nod, handshake, greeting. They're very reclusive. Very
Okay.
reclusive. But the house, catty corner. They
do you see them?
very rarely, like when they go to their cars. That's about it.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I got a few neighbors like that.
Yeah, like
I got a few neighbors
do,
like
do
that.
you know their names?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we don't.
Yeah.
know
Our whole neighborhood, we got I got good neighbors. I
Yeah.
got good neighbors. Yeah.
I have good neighbors in the fact that we all leave each other alone.
Yeah. I do.
Which I do appreciate. Like that's an underappreciated thing.
Well, yeah. Leave them alone. But if something goes down, it's like, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah. I got good neighbors. We just had somebody new moving in the neighborhood. And I already got my neighbor directly next to me is a husky.
Mm.
Couple houses down, got another husky. And then we got a lot of like kind of non-sports fans. An Ohio State fan just moved in.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Spicing things up a little
Haven't
bit.
met him yet. Haven't met him yet.
But they're an Ohio State fan because they'll tell you.
But it's on their cars.
Yeah.
But we drove
Just
by.
like a marathoner or a Mac user.
That's right. 26.2. We drove by and the kids saw the sticker on the car and they both at the same time go, ew.
Perfect.
And I was like, oh, all right. Something right's happening here.
Something Duck fans and
We're-
UFC fans can agree on. We don't like Ohio State.
Yeah. And I don't have any beef with Ohio State, but
I mean, you probably should.
my kids went to the Rose Bowl this year. They have beef.
Yeah.
So it was I'm arm's length right now. You know, when do we go over? They just moved in this past weekend. I always feel like I want them to get settled in a little bit before, you know, you bring the cookies over or whatever.
You bring over duck cookies.
And I think we need to at this
Yeah.
point. But
Well,
I
or do
mean,
you
at
take
that
them-
point,
They'll just laugh at you.
Or do you take them some
Right.
Buckeye fudge?
Yeah.
what is that?
It's like a peanut butter chocolate fudge type dessert.
You kidding me?
No,
Why have I never heard of this?
I wouldn't ask you. You're my favorite turd.
I know. Buckeye fudge?
Yeah.
All right, I'm Googling. I know what that is. I didn't know that that's what it was called.
Yeah.
That is delicious.
Right? I mean, you got peanut butter and chocolate. How bad can that be?
If the ratios are off, it can be pretty bad. It can be bad.
Yeah. Too
That-
much peanut butter?
But that's the thing about the OG Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. The ratios are perfect.
Perfect.
A lot of people
lot of trial and error.
a lot of people love the egg, you know? Like the egg shape Reese's.
Yeah, it's too much peanut butter.
A lot of
Too
yes.
much.
Yes.
Well, I think it's been scientifically proven too that it's either that or the tree has the highest peanut butter to chocolate.
Christmas
ratio.
tree one?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not down with that. They found the perfect ratio in the peanut butter cup.
Well, the problem is the chocolate's probably more expensive. And so they just fill it with more peanut butter because it's more surface area.
Sure, yeah.
And so they're like, hey, how can we do this, but also not make it that much more expensive?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
That's how it goes.
I don't know. I just
Big chocolate out here getting us.
Big chocolate is out to get us. But the peanut butter cup is good. You can screw up those Buckeye fudge fudge though. You can screw up the Buckeye fudge.
Yeah.
Speak words.
My
Living.
dump button built here.
Yeah. All right. We got it. We're under control here. We're under control. But yes, I'm very excited. Like today, we're gonna have good weather coming up on Friday and Saturday, which I enjoy. I like that.
I do love the good weather, but because of the little spouts of rain and sun that we've had,
yeah, a little spittle.
my grass went from hibernating to like 8 inches tall in the span of 3 days.
See,
And
times
I
are
was
good.
like, oh, I guess I have to mow this weekend.
Yeah, you got to make sure you get that done.
The problem is it cannot rain between now and then because otherwise it's just a big wet mess and you can't mow it.
Yeah, we have narrow windows here.
You have to, otherwise then it gets like a foot tall because it just sits there and rains and rains and rains and rains and rains and you're like, cool, I get to spend the entire day cutting this down like in sections,
Yeah,
which is
that's
miserable.
True. Well, here's a text, good text on the fan text line. It says, Little League season hits different in Oregon because it's the first sign our 9 months of gray sky hell is finally over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little hint at it at least.
May I make a point here? Point of order. That 9 month gray spell, it really is now November, December, January, February, March, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a 5 month. It's 5 months. That means like we've got 7 months, and I'm not gonna kid anybody here. November and or late October and like April, it's hit and miss. Like you're gambling. It's like one of them farts that we were talking about yesterday, where you don't trust it. You shouldn't trust it. Even when that weather report, even when the great Matt Zaffino or Mark Nelson or Dave Selesky tell us that we are going to be getting that sunshine, I don't trust it.
Yeah.
I don't trust it.
That last half of October can really be the oopsie poops of weather.
Oh yeah, and well, all of April is.
Yeah.
All of April and a little bit of May, right?
Yeah.
But it's getting nicer. It's getting nicer. I don't think it's 9 months anymore. I'll go
You go a stark 8.5.
No, I'll go. Oh no. I'll give you 6 and 6 right now.
Ooh.
And I'll be willing to listen.
I think that's fair.
I'll be willing to listen to 7 and 5, but I'm going 6 and 6. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, Oregon, nice little 500 ball club we got going here. All right.
All right.
We're not Southern California.
No.
We're not. Well, the Dodgers or the Padres right now. How about those two teams?
Undefeated.
You see that? First time ever 2 teams in the same division have ever started 7-0 or better?
That was kind of surprising to me. I know the fickleness of baseball and the probabilities and how stuff changes all the time.
Yeah.
But 7-0, like, don't get me wrong, it's a good start, but it's not like an insane start.
No, you would
You would,
think
like, especially with the history of baseball.
150 years.
Yeah, like 2 teams in the same division both started hot. Like,
well, I mean, divisions did start in 1969, so nice.
Nice.
But it's even from 69 to now.
that's a long time.
It is a long time.
Like, what was it? Isn't the 7-0 start like the hottest start in baseball history?
What?
Somebody had a stat like
No.
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 Did it say that the Dodgers 8-0 is the best start to a season by a defending champion?
maybe that's what I saw.
There
Okay,
you go.
yeah, which I was like, that also seems kind of
Okay.
weird.
But here's the other thing about the Dodgers and the Padres. First time that in the same division in Major League history, okay? This is only the 5th time that there have been 2 teams in the entire league that have started 7-0 or better.
Wow.
And it's the first time since 2003. That is crazy.
Yeah.
So 2003
Parity in baseball, not
the,
happening.
The Royals and the Giants both started. Royals started 9-0, Giants 7-0. 1982, you had the Braves start 13-0 and the White Sox start 8-0. 1962, you had the Pirates start 10-0 and the Cardinals start 7-0. And then the 5th season, who could forget? The 1884 St. Louis Maroons,
Hey,
who started 20-0.
that's a star, baby.
And then the New York Gothams started 12-0.
God, they had great names.
See, those are good
The
names.
Maroons and the Gothams.
I don't know about the Maroons.
I like the Maroons.
I don't know what maroon means, but I
wonder what
remember
color their
Bugs.
uniforms were.
No, I remember Bugs Bunny calling people a maroon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that
What
meant.
a maroon.
I still don't know what that means.
Hopefully, it doesn't have any like connotations behind it.
It might. But
Good
do you guys remember that though, right? Like Looney Tunes,
Yeah.
they would
what a maroon. Yeah, you would say it like that.
Yeah. I don't know what it means. Like, what does it mean when you call somebody a maroon?
A phrase he uses to call someone ignorant or foolish. And it's a mispronunciation of the word moron.
All
Oh,
right.
there you go.
So they were the St. Louis Morons?
Yeah.
I'm in even more now. Like, seriously? All right.
There you go. Well, it's good to know that it wasn't, in fact, connotated towards anything other than like misappropriating moron.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Well, okay, we
Well-
don't know what is the true origin of moron?
Here's one, though. Let's see, the term maroon
Oh,
historically
no.
referred to enslaved Africans who escaped plantations and established independent communities, particularly in the Americas, representing a form of resistance to slavery.
All right. Now we're out on it. Disavow. How far down did you have to scroll for that one?
Not far.
Not far.
Not far.
Okay.
It was in the People Also Ask section where it lists like 5 other questions.
Yeah, I'm not in on this anymore. Okay.
The word maroon comes from the Spanish cimarron, meaning wild or feral, originally referring to cattle that ran wild, then later applied to escaped slaves.
Yeah, disavow. Gotham's is good though.
Yeah.
Batman.
Well, look, let's face it. There's a lot of stuff from the old Looney Tunes days that
yeah,
really
what do
doesn't
I
fly anymore.
But I think Bugs was going down the idiot or moron.
I
yeah,
believe so, yes.
that's there's
Right?
like a whole thing on it. And
With
it
the
was-
way that he was the way he used it,
Yes.
it was like that guy is pretty dumb.
Yeah.
What a maroon. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
we need to bring it back.
Well, I don't know if you heard me just disavow.
No, in that connotation only.
Oh, okay.
In that,
okay.
in the Bugs Bunny connotation.
All right. Yeah, in the Bugs Bunny
Yeah.
connotation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it.
All right. Not for sports teams though.
No,
Not for sports teams. No. All right. We can agree on that.
that becomes problematic.
Golly. Gosh. Russ, thank you for the more depth on the research there.
Yeah, Google's a heck of a thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right
But-
at our fingertips.
It's right there.
Right there.
Who to thunk it?
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk it?
Good old Lugal.
There's a lot of those things though that you grow up and you just don't. It just goes right over your head. But then you think about it, you're like, what did bugs mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's some
Yeah.
where there were connotations behind it.
Yeah.
Were very bad.
Yeah. Well, they used they were using our cartoons quite often as propaganda for several fronts.
Yes.
Not all propaganda is the bad kind,
Good, bad, otherwise.
but they did all. Yeah,
I mean,
they
early
were-
on, the
Now we just use social media.
the cigarette ads.
Oh yeah.
You know, hand rolling the cigarette and like showing like the carton.
Well, your a doctor in the ads being
Yeah.
like, cigarettes will help you stay healthy.
Yeah.
They were smoking in the operating rooms.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I mean, we used cocaine for a lot of things too. Laudanum.
yeah. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Not New Coke,
Mm-mm.
but they went back to the classic.
I mean, why don't we bring back real classic Coke?
No.
Coward.
Mm-mm. No, you can go down to Colombia for that,
Yeah, there you go.
right?
Might not come back.
Mm. Have you seen the place in Colombia that they have like thunderstorms basically all day, every day?
Mm.
It's like just this pocket where they just have thunder and lightning. That sounds miserable.
Yeah, it's a lot like the people that settled in like North Dakota. It's like, oops.
Yeah. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's the top of the Amazon
Yeah.
for a reason.
Don't like it.
Yeah, the jungle, it stays very wet.
Don't like it. All right. Top names for a potential Portland MLB team name.
Look, man, I'm prone to the Beavers coming back.
Portland Beavers.
Yeah.
I like the Portland
it,
Beavers.
It does.
It was
does
a-
work.
That logo of the beaver
Was a
like
banger with
hitting
that. Oh.
that's an elite
Yeah.
baseball logo.
I think they could do a nod to the old Negro League team and go with the Rosebuds.
Yeah. Portland Rosebuds would be a good one.
The Beaver logo is so synonymous that if you like play MLB The Show, you can import logos that other people have made, and usually the Beavers is like one of the highest rated ones.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
I mean, somebody does it every year where it looks flawless, and
Yeah.
like, all right, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know what you do go with here in Portland.
Would you want like if let's say the Rays or the A's moved here, you
Mm-hmm.
would not want their name, would you?
I would want if the A's moved here.
You'd want the A's
I'd
name?
want the A's. Yeah, because that color scheme is iconic. The athletics brand, it's been drugged through the mud.
Well, I mean, the
but
green
you take
and yellow
John
would go hard here.
Yeah, you take
obvious
John J.
reasons.
Fisher out of it.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a historic franchise. And it's synonymous with moving.
Yeah.
You know, Philadelphia, Kansas City, Oakland, now Sacramento, maybe Vegas.
Yeah.
But if it came to Portland, yeah, I'd want the Portland A's.
Yeah, one of my favorite throwbacks that I have is a Dennis Eckersley throwback jersey.
Yeah, it's a great look that they've had.
I have to throw that on one of these days.
I had a Ricky Henderson A's jersey
Sweet.
as a kid.
There you go.
Nice. You and Ricky Henderson, I could see that
Yeah.
crossover there. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Jeffy being Jeffy.
Yeah,
I like it.
exactly. And I'm blazing fast too.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I could see Russ going third person on when little Jeff Russ going into school, all of a sudden just starts talking third person when he raises his hand. Jeffy thinks the answer is B.
I want that kid in my class.
Check Jimmy out. Jimmy's ready.
Jimmy is ready.
I want third person kid in my class. If I'm a teacher, you go ahead and do that.
Yeah, there's certain kids you hear them talk, you're like, you got something, and it's either prison or success, but it's not in the middle. You're going one way
Oh,
or the
yeah.
other, buddy.
You're not walking that middle path.
You are either going to be wildly successful or an absolute
Or Florida man.
disaster.
Yeah.
yeah. But I like those
Yeah.
kids because if you can put them on that path for success,
Or not
you gotta
the other
go,
way.
No. Because that slope is slippery. It goes fast. All right.
You know what? Fan text line as a duck. Well, I understand the idea of calling a pro team the Beavers. I don't want that. What would be hilarious is if they went with the A's color scheme and called it the Beavers. Just anger everyone.
you want to see
A lot.
riots in the streets? That's how you have that happen.
Uh-huh.
Boy,
Boy, that'd be fun.
that would be bad.
Yeah. Or we just do what everybody should have done. The Portland Platypus.
The platypus is great. I don't know if you want to go that far into it because, the platypus you should have more platypus logo.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, do it.
Yeah.
You can't do anything I think spiders, the Cleveland spider should have been a thing.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have very many spiders
No,
here,
we
though.
don't. Richmond.
Yeah,
Their
Richmond
logo
spiders.
is incredible.
Elite.
It's incredible.
Elite. But Mavericks is a good one.
Yeah.
The Portland Mavericks
Yeah.
go back to nod to the independent league.
Yosemite Sam.
Yeah, yeah. And look, the Hops nailed it for a minor league team.
Oh, God, yeah.
But that is very minor leaguey, right? The Pickles is their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you do go with here. Do you stay in the realm of Trailblazers? Obviously, the Oregon Trail, blazing a trail to Oregon and new territory.
Go Pioneers.
The Timbers is something that, that's regionalized. I like that continuity, and it would be weird if there was just one outlier.
There's a platypus
It's like,
from Australia.
what? So I like there being a little bit of regional tie to your team name.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Pittsburgh Pirates, because obviously everybody thinks of Pirates when
Yes,
you think of
100%.
Pittsburgh, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Three Rivers. Pirates.
The most pirated seas in the country.
Yeah, and Penguins too.
Yeah.
Well, this one pointed out on the old text line. I don't know if you guys mentioned it or not, but the Mavericks.
Yep. Going back to the independent league. I like that. I like that a lot.
Kurt Russell and his pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll think on that. Let's stew on that for a little bit.
I like it.
Let's get this show on the road.
All right.
Huh? It's going to be a weird day if you haven't gathered that already. Not as weird as yesterday got. Yesterday, right off the bat, boy, that thing careened in the side of the mountain.
Yeah.
But it was a good show.
It was a fun show.
It was a good show. We have NFL conversations, a lot of action going on in the NFL. They should probably not let the vice president of the Cincinnati Bengals talk anymore.
Ever.
Boy, she is really stepping in it.
There's PR management, and then there's don't let them talk to public.
She might have gone to the Jerry Jones School of PR.
Just absolutely insane.
We also have wide-ranging questions like, which NBA team do you trust the most or least in that middle tier of playoff basketball?
The non-Oklahoma City, Boston, Cleveland group. That's clearly the upper crust.
Do people trust the Thunder in the playoffs this year?
I think people do because they might win 70 games.
should.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk some Final Four and a little bit of the hometown team, the Portland Trailblazers, as they get ready for the Toronto Raptors tonight. Let's start with the hometown team. The Blazers, have they increased opportunities to make a big move this offseason? Danny and Dusty on the Fan. All right, the Portland Trailblazers are frustrating some with the amount of wins that they're piling up, but intriguing a lot of folks, both that want the team to lose and the people that want them to win. It is an intriguing run that the Blazers are on because we've talked about this at length. They've developed players. We've seen young guys take massive strides. But the big question is going to be, if you're not in that top 4, if you're not going to land Cooper Flagg in the number 1 overall pick, has this season increased trade opportunities for the Portland Trailblazers, whether it's young guys through development or the veteran pieces that they have shut down largely? DeAndre Ayton, who shut down due to injury, Jeremy Grant, Robert Williams, Anthony Simons, who we haven't seen in a few games. Has the value increased on any of these players?
I don't think it's increased on any of the veterans. I think it's probably dropped on a couple of guys.
That is the one that hurts right there.
The Time Lord one is probably the one that hurts the most. And when they made that deal, I thought they were going to redirect him. But they were adamant they were going to keep him. That was the guy that they really. So I was kind of tracking that whole after they made the transaction with Dame to Milwaukee and they got Drew. There were 3 teams that were pursuing Drew, 4 total, but 3 very hard. The Clippers, the Jazz, and the Celtics. They were all very much interested in Drew Holiday. And the Blazers wanted Taylor Hendricks from the Jazz. And the Jazz were like, no, we're not going to include him. And I was talking to somebody in Utah during the process because that was their top prospect. And look, it's Drew Holiday. He's a dude. But the Jazz, if they could get Drew and get him to agree to an extension, Danny Ainge really wanted him. And I was talking to somebody in Utah during the process, and they're like, do you think the Celtics will put Rob in the deal? And I go, that's the sticking point right now as I understand it. And that was what kind of held that up. The Clippers were pushing in with more, like basically what was left of their draft capital and a couple other things, but it didn't. They went hard, but I don't think the Blazers were super interested in what they had. And then the Miami Heat went after Drew for a period too. But when Rob got on the deal, I was going back and forth with somebody in Utah. I go, if Utah's going to get in, like they're going to have to put Taylor because the Blazers are prioritizing. They wanted somebody like that. And I thought immediately, because they wanted Rob, was like they would do exactly what they did with Drew. Other teams would be like, we want Rob, and you could flip for more assets. And I thought kind of the same with Malk, but I thought they might keep Brogdon. I was like, it kind of makes sense to keep Brogdon because they need some
steady hand in the backcourt.
Yeah, and Malk is a pro as pro comes. Like he is as buttoned up and professional a player as there is in the NBA. He is a pro's pro, right? And not that Rob isn't, but Rob's a different kind of pro, right? And I was like, well, they'll probably look to move Rob, and then you get the thing from Woj. They are keeping him. And I was like, okay. It was a risk.
Yerks. And
it's one that is clearly not panned out for them because he had another injury and had to have work on it again. It's unfortunate, and that's going to be a bit of a blemish on that transaction, in that they didn't flip him then, and they didn't flip him later.
Yeah, the decision.
Yeah.
The decision not to flip it, turn it, make it real quick. But it also does make sense because at the time, they had no front court.
Yeah.
They had no front court depth.
No, it was him and DA.
Yeah.
Like they're like, this is what we're going to go with.
That was literally, yeah.
Yeah. So I at least got it, even if I disagree with it in principle, but then you get Rob around and you understand why.
Okay.
And you're just like, okay, even if I disagree with it, I at least can understand it. They got it wrong, and that's the risk you take with a guy that has injuries. Is sometimes you get Steph Curry, who's broken the first 3 years he's in the league, and then basically bulletproof for 10 more years.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys get injuries, and they just more than likely with big men, they more just kind of keep
on happening.
It's unfortunate, but with Rob, he's depreciated, and I hate talking about guys in assets, but I'm just using that term because he has. I don't think DA has. I think DA is what DA is. He hasn't been as good as he was in Phoenix because he doesn't have Chris Paul and Devin Booker setting him up.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a big part of this.
He's been better than I think a lot of people expected him to be here, though, knowing what he had. Yeah.
Yeah. And his deal being an expiring deal, I'm very interested to see how that value translates because I don't know. With the new CBA, I don't know what the value of a $35 million expiring deal is.
Yeah.
Nobody does. And that's kind of the question is like, is there a team out there is not Phoenix, but a Phoenix team. Okay. There's other teams that are up against it too. Boston. Do the Blazers work as necessary a facilitator for a team that's like, we are in the second apron and we cannot be here any longer.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to find a way out of this years earlier.
New ownership is going to have to make some moves. Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing that I'm looking at with him. With Jeremy, there are teams that want him. I don't know if there are teams that are out there that are giving up what the Blazers want. That's the question.
Let's talk about that next. Jeremy Grant and what the Blazers want.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll get to that after Rust with SportsCenter.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a SportsCenter update on 1080 The Fan.
This update brought to you by Crunch Fitness. Memberships as low as $9.99 per month. Find your Crunch time in Portland, Vancouver, and online at crunch.com. First on The Fan, the Trailblazers road trip continues this afternoon in Toronto against the Raptors. 4:30 tip on KUNP, Xfinity Channel 302, or K2 2.2 on your antenna. DeAndre Ayton, Scoot Henderson, Robert Williams III all out. Jeremy Grant is doubtful, and Anthony Simons is questionable. The Blazers are 4.5-point favorites. ESPN's Shams Charania reporting 76ers star guard Tyrese Maxey ruled out for the rest of the season with a finger tendon injury. He's been averaging a career-high 26.3 points per game, but has not played since March 3rd. Multiple reports say the Raiders and quarterback Geno Smith have agreed to a 2-year, $85.5 million extension with $66.5 million guaranteed. And ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting the Cowboys acquiring quarterback Joe Milton III and a 7th-rounder from the Patriots for a 5th-round pick. Round 1 of the Valero Texas Open at TPC San Antonio, and Kashmir Keith Mitchell, as fine as his nickname, 8 under 64. He's 2 strokes clear of Brian Harman at 6 under par. Tony Finau is 5 strokes off the pace, tied for 6th at 3 under. Jimmy Walker and Jordan Spieth both 1 under par. Justin Rose is shot an even par, 72. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Tired of getting dinged by subscriptions? We won't send you a bill. Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan.
It's Jeff.
Blazers season of mixed results, depending on which way you want to have this season go. I wanted to flunk for flag.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that would be a good thing. They have not. They definitely have not. But what has it done to trade assets here in Portland? And as the young guys have developed and have looked a lot better, and the future does look bright for several of them, you have seen a depression in the value of some of the veterans that we were talking about. And Jeremy Grant's an interesting one because he does have a contract that is friendly to trade in the current market because it's what, $29 million? Is that what it is?
I'd have to double check year to year, but it goes up to 33, I think, at the year. 33 or 34.
Which is still affordable, but
it's the years more than anything
has
else.
the player lived up to it, right? And what is his trade market right now?
That's going to be the interesting thing because Jeremy had probably his worst year from 2 as a pro. And I look at it more as a one-off than anything else because it just happens.
Not a great time for a one-off year, though.
No, definitely not. But the one thing that he does do still is hit threes at a pretty good clip. I saw somebody like, Jeremy can't hit threes this year. I'm like, he's shooting 37% from 3, guys. Like
that seems good
on volume. Like, and he's the previous 2 years he was at 40% on volume. Like,
all right,
and he's still a plus defender. Like, now, does a team out there want to pay $30 million for that if he's not going to be able? If I think he was like 37% on 2s this year. Remember right? Like he was shooting basically the same from 3 as he was from 2.
Gross.
Which is just super weird. Especially considering a guy that's averaged basically 20-ish, 20 plus a game for the last 4 years. Like that's a little bit like I think there was I think Jeremy was frustrated this year.
Okay.
Just not only how it started, but kind of knowing what this season was supposed to be. In the sense of, you heard just on the public stuff from the front office.
Yeah.
There wasn't a mention about wins.
Yeah.
It was about development and data and all like when you're, 30 years old and you're in year 11, let's be honest, it's not a place you want to be.
And he's got 3 more years after this one. He's got 32, 34, and then $36 million on a player option, which I'm assuming he would take at 34 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to, is there a team that's out there? I mean, number one, there are teams out there that want Jeremy Grant. I know that for a fact. But it's about what the Blazers want in return. What I'm wondering is there a point that this gets to, though? Let's say the Blazers in the draft, they end up drafting Asa Newell. Let's say that they're picking 10th or something wrong. They end up drafting a wing-ish forward type.
Yeah.
And now you're kind of running out of space and you're up against it. So I kind of wonder which way the Blazers are going to go. Number one, the biggest key date coming up is the lottery. The lottery is going to determine basically every single thing the Blazers do. If they move into the top 4, it changes a lot. If they somehow magically get number 1, it changes everything. If they end up picking 8, 9, or 10, it changes what path they'll go down. It changes the value of their assets, what their plan becomes, what they can target, what they can go do. Let's say they land 3rd and Ace Bailey's the number 1 player on their board at that spot. Well, you want to probably get 2 Ace Denny on the floor. Well, who does that squeeze out? It squeezes out one of Shaedon or Jeremy. And they're probably going to side with Shaedon.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to make a move, I think after the lottery, you're at the combine, you're going to start getting pretty heavy into what you're going to try to do.
And can we start framing this not as what the Blazers want in return, rather how Joe Cronin can sell Jeremy Grant? Because that's a big thing. And that's the thing that is frustrating and tiring, I think, for a lot of fans, is that the whole idea of, well, the return just wasn't there. The job of the general manager is to create the return.
Sure.
It's not just oh, well, nobody wanted to play ball. No, because the GM's job is to get people to play ball. Like that is part of how you operate. And for as good and I think it's undeniable right now, that this front office in evaluating talent in the draft and young players, it's really damn good.
Yeah.
From whether it is Donovan Clingan or trading for guys like Denny Avdia and Tumani Kamara, who are young and they've evaluated all these guys. Like you highlighted this after the trade for Denny Avdia. Mike Schmidt's draft profile of Denny Avdia, when he was drafted, he had a tweet out saying, this guy's going to be the damn steal of the draft. And he identified that when he wasn't even in a front office, right? They are really good at evaluating young players and role players, right? You luck into stars, but finding role players, that is a valuable asset.
It is.
And it is a very valuable tool. But you need to start finding the other component of being a GM is you got to find those partners and build those relationships that you can trade for a guy.
And if you're a push all in kind of guy, and again, I'm not saying all in for like a 27 or 28-year-old star, what you're looking at are the quote unquote depressed asset stars. That is your LaMelo Ball. That is your Zion Williamson. That is your possibly Ja Morant. But here's the thing: when I hear those names, I don't want to.
No,
I don't like the Denny trade. Like to me, the perfect version of that trade is going a step above him and taking a swing on, or not even taking a swing on, but like if you're going to push all in for a super young wing, it's like a Franz Wagner.
Yeah,
and now he might be so good that you might not be able to get him, even if you put up basically everything that you have. Like, if you went to the Orlando Magic right now and asked them who they want to build their team with, I think publicly they'd say Paolo and Franz. But I think if you held a gun to their head and said one or the other, I think they might say Franz.
Really?
I do.
Well, then go get Paolo Banchero.
Seattle guy.
Bring it back to the Northwest.
But like those are the kind of moves that you're looking at if you're looking at like getting a young,
but the reality is
star player. They're going to be distressed.
The thing about those Paolo and Franz, they have their games where they hit largely, and against really good teams, they do not play well alongside each other.
That's the thing is like you were hoping that maybe paying them both was going to sort out some of the pecking order stuff. But it might be that they're both kind of 1As. You know what I mean? Like in it, and everybody sits here as a fan and says, well, they just need to kind of figure it out. It's like, no, man, when you got two guys that are both young and they're both clawing for every last thing, sometimes it just doesn't work. Now, we went through this with Jalen and Jason, Tatum and Brown in Boston over years, but that pecking order kind of sorted itself out.
And Paolo and Franz play too similarly.
Yes, that was
the Jays didn't.
There was at least enough delineation between them. You were like,
you could find roles in Boston.
Yeah, like Jalen's a little bit more downhill. Like you could be like, okay, like that's maybe where we can get something here. Franz and Paolo are both just 6'9", 6'10" wrecking balls that want to have that obscene rim pressure.
Yeah,
Franz has shown a little bit more proclivity to be a shooter, while Paolo is not. The crazy thing about a guy like Franz is, like, you look at him this season, he's 25, 5-5, and he is 23 years old.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Maybe there's, like, the question again with him becomes shooting. And then you start talking about, like, what you're doing with this Blazers team. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. If they make whatever move, of the guys that I just named, even like Franz and Paolo, okay, Ja, Zion, LaMelo. What do none of them have?
Playoff experience.
Well, not just that, shooting.
Yeah.
And this is already a team that is limited on shooting.
And that's why we have the Knipp slip. Con Knippel's going to fix that problem, right?
Like, it was like, well, LaMelo Ball. LaMelo took 11 threes a game this year, and he shot 33%.
Damn, dog. That's, Shane Sharp.
Yeah, I mean, on more volume.
Yeah.
Like, that's the crazy thing. And again, you're talking about those guys. Like, yeah, there's obscene talent with the LaMelo, Ja, Zion guys, but there's a reason why there's murmurings in the NBA world around them. With LaMelo, it's like, does he give a damn? With Ja, like, what stupid thing is he going to do next? With Zion, it's his weight, injuries, and can he stay out of the bat-ass crazy world of women? Like, don't get me wrong, there's certain proclivities around the NBA, but there's a sliding scale of those proclivities. And like, there's a reason why those guys are even remotely available.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like that this is always the issue when you're talking about team building. If you're going to go get a young player and not even accelerate, but just kind of push your timeline forward, number one, what is the cost and what are the risks that you're going to take on?
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no Jimmy Butler that's out there right now in his prime where you're like, you can go make that deal.
Well, you got to go create that. Like,
Yeah.
that's because those deals have also been created,
Mhm.
right? Where guys become available because conversations, relationships are built.
And also playoff failures. That's
Yeah.
the thing, is like when the playoffs, when the teams get bounced a little bit early,
Yeah.
that's when you can start looking at things.
Hey, we found the worst way to lose a no-hitter. I believe this to my core is the worst way a pitcher could ever lose a no-hitter. Next on The Fan.
Check out
This may be the worst way to lose a no-hitter ever. Okay? We go down the road to Chapel Hill. Actually, this one was in Boston. North Carolina was playing Boston College, and they were up 10-0. Okay? And the pitcher on the mound is absolutely dealing. This kid has got a no-hitter heading into the 9th inning, and he is on the bump, mows down the first two, in order, just bam, 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 strikes both guys out. He's now on to the final out for a no-hitter early in the year. And what happens is there was a walk. This is not a perfect game. He walked a guy and then mows two down. So he's got a runner on first. And Aiden Haw has no hitter in his sights. Hitter hits a line drive right towards the first baseman. The ball hits the base runner in the stomach. And the base runner is called out. Everybody starts celebrating, right? Everybody's going crazy. Whoop! Not so fast, my friend. Even though it would have been a shot where the first baseman was right behind the runner, like, that's going to be an out. Since the ball hit the base runner is out, but the hitter gets awarded a hit. Is that the dumbest rule ever?
Wait.
Yeah.
So this was 2 outs?
2 outs.
So, no.
Yeah.
The out occurs before the hit takes place.
I don't know. I just saw this breakdown from John Boy. John Boy did a breakdown on this. It's an obscure rule.
Oh, my God.
It's an obscure rule, but if it is counted as a hit officially in the scorebook.
No, he's out.
Yeah.
No.
And if it's the third out, then
How can a hit take place?
right. Like this would be akin to, all right, so say that ball gets hit and the first baseman throws it to second base and the runner is out, right? It doesn't mean you give a hit to the guy who is running to first base.
Yeah.
The guy never even made it to first base. At no point did the base runner make it to first base. But because of this obscure rule, it goes down as a one hit.
No.
Yeah, isn't that...
No.
that should be changed.
No, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. No.
Isn't that dumb?
Yes, it's very dumb.
And
I want no part of that.
I think it is the worst way you could ever lose a no-hitter.
Yes.
Ever. Because you did the work to get the no-hitter.
Yes, like the one of the worst, lost no-hitters, Detroit Tigers, Jim Joyce.
That was a perfect game, man.
Yeah. Oh, God. Was that Galarraga?
Yeah, Armando Galarraga.
Yeah. That was brutal, and Jim Joyce, to this day, feels awful about it. He knows how he got, like, that hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That hurt.
That's brutal.
But, like, you understood it. Nobody liked it.
It was a call that was incorrect.
Yes.
That was a call that was incorrect. This is a call that is correct,
but it's incorrect.
Does not compute.
That makes no sense. Like, the transactional nature of it doesn't make sense. I don't like it. No, I don't like this at all.
Yeah.
Did you see what happened with Kentucky and A&M baseball this weekend?
Yeah, the killing time.
Yes.
Yeah, that was also nasty. No inning can start after 4:30 on a getaway.
But did you see what the score was in that game?
Yeah, it was 10-5.
They were up by 5 runs.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing. And Kentucky was just knowing that this rule was in play where if you kill enough time, they could do it. But that is a dumb rule, but not
They
nearly
say
as
it's
dumb
for
as
the
this.
students to give them, for the traveling team to give them ample time to get back to school and class.
That seems like it's the stupidest rule ever, though.
Yes.
Getting
Second to the
runner interference. kills the
The
no-hitter.
runner interference happens before
Mm-hmm.
it takes place.
Yeah.
So what are we doing here?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
like it.
But no hitter for young Aiden Haw. So maybe next time, champ.
Yeah, no, I don't like this.
Maybe next time.
No.
All right, hour number 2. We'll have our worst day on the web tomorrow. Let's go to the NFL where we got I got some NFL jambalaya that we can throw at you.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of things in the pot, and one of them has to do with the Cincinnati Bengals. Your VP should just not talk. Danny and Dusty on the Fan.
Danny Marang here.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
If you've been arrested for DUI, you need a team of attorneys into whom you can place your trust. Call Reynolds Defense Firm today online at reynoldsdefensefirm.com. First on The Fan, the Trailblazers road trip continues this afternoon in Toronto against the Raptors. 4:30 tip on KUNP. That's Xfinity Channel 302 or K2 2.2 on your antenna. DeAndre Ayton, Scoot Henderson, Robert Williams III are all out. Jeremy Grant doubtful. Anthony Simons questionable. The Blazers are 4.5-point favorites. ESPN's Shams Charania reporting 76ers star guard Tyrese Maxey ruled out for the rest of the season with a finger tendon injury. Multiple reports say the Raiders and quarterback Geno Smith have agreed to a 2-year, $85.5 million extension with $66.5 million guaranteed. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting the Cowboys have acquired quarterback Joe Milton III and a 7th-round pick from the Patriots for a 5th-round pick. Round 1 of the Valero Texas Open at TPC San Antonio. At the top of the leaderboard, Kashmir Keith Mitchell after an 8-under 64. He is 2 strokes clear of Brian Harmon. Tony Finau tied for 6th at 3 under par. That is 5 strokes off the pace. Jimmy Walker, he's dynamite, tied for 27th at 1 under par alongside Jordan Spieth. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Russ from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Jump back to earlier parts of your favorite fan shows on the Odyssey app. The only way to rewind Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan. Danny and Dusty.
My Uncle Gus is the uncle that liked to work the grill. As soon as he walk in the house, he's like, get away from that grill. You don't know how to start no fire.
With the latest on the Blazers, Ducks, Beavers, and the hottest topics in sports.
We're going to eat a hamburger, okay? Here we go. China, throw the match. Now that's a fire.
Danny and Dusty on the Odyssey app and 1080.
I'm not cooking them Brontosaurus burger.
The Fan.
Good afternoon. Oh, whoa. We're already doing that. Hour number 2.
Hey,
We're hour number 2. Yeah. Dude, I just get excited sometimes. We got an NFL jambalaya for you. Geno Smith signed an extension with your Las Vegas Raiders, sir.
Yeah, numbers aren't out yet.
They are.
Oh, did they finally come out?
They are. It is essentially. I think it's 2 years, $85 million with 66 guaranteed.
Yeah, it's nice to see that Danny pays attention to my incredibly informational sports updates.
Excuse me, sir. I walked out of the room to grab my food. I apologize. Well, so the 66 is guaranteed is the number that it matters there, and that's basically what I had heard from folks in Vegas was that it was going to be roughly 32 to 34 a year guaranteed.
Yeah, it is an $85.5 million extension, $66.5 million guaranteed, puts him in Vegas through 2027. So
Totally fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine.
Yeah. Geno Smith, would it surprise you to hear that Geno Smith is the most accurate quarterback in the NFL over the last 4 seasons?
No, because he has a couple 70% completion seasons in there.
2021, his accuracy rankings in the NFL. 2021, number 1. 2022, number 1. 2023, number 1. 2024, number 2.
Yeah.
League-wide. And think of that. System obviously means something. Was not a barren wasteland of receivers that he was throwing to. But it has been, and look, he's not, one of the reasons why his accuracy numbers are so high is because he's not pushing the ball down the field as much as, Patrick Mahomes is, or hell, even Kirk Cousins was.
Which is actually kind of crazy because his air yards per attempt is not full on check down Charlie.
No.
He's middle of the pack.
Yeah.
He's
middle.
When I looked at that, I was actually surprised that it was as high as it was. I thought it would be closer to the 6s, mid 6.5 yards. He's in the 7.5, which is league average.
According to Warren Sharp Football, top 3 most accurate quarterbacks the last 4 years combined. Number 3, Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Joe Burrow. Number 1, Geno Smith.
Yeah, that just shows you how insane Joe Burrow is because that's a lot more airing out. Also the wide receivers.
Shows you how, think of the receiving cores that those 3 guys throw to. Pretty good.
Not bad.
Pretty good, especially the second and third with Burrow and Kirk Cousins. But, Geno, he gets his extension. Good for you, man. Good for you.
Look, totally perfect stopgap quarterback. I have zero issues with the trade or the extension. I think they're both exactly what they needed.
Not good is Joe Burrow's vice president, Katie Blackman, who I didn't know who Katie Blackman was until yesterday, but I found out Katie Blackman is the vice president of the Bengals when she said something pretty stupid about Trey Hendrickson and his contract extension. And paraphrasing here, but it was something along the lines of he needs to be realistic. Okay. And that was pretty dumb. And that really upset Trey Hendrickson, one of the best edge rushers in the National Football League. Actually, NFL's leader in sacks last year, was none too happy when he heard her take on that. But I was scratching my head on that one. Today I'm scratching my head even more because Katie Blackburn strikes again with an all-timer of a quote. The Bengals stadium lease is up after this year. And when she was asked about the stadium lease that ends, I guess, in 2026, not this year, she said, we could, I guess, go wherever we wanted after this year. So on the heels of the Trey
48
Hendrickson,
hours.
we get the, well, I guess we could go wherever we wanted.
Oh, my God.
That is wild. And now you have city commissioners in Hamilton County, where Cincinnati is, and they're like, whoa, wait a minute. Because her whole thing about we could go wherever we want is that she feels that the city is not being proactive enough in getting this lease. A city commissioner, Alicia Reese, said, I'm ready to get out the blank piece of paper and get ink and pen, and let's get down the lease. Can we get a deal or can we not get a deal? I think the taxpayers deserve to know. She said and then she put it on the Bengals saying, it's not us that's dragging our feet. We haven't heard from you guys.
Well, I mean, and if you listen to Trey Hendrickson on McAfee yesterday, he's like, I've wanted the same deal for 3 years. He goes, and guess what? Now the DN market's blowing up, and I'm not going to apologize for that. Basically, what he's saying is, you could have had me cheaper over the last 3 years, dummy, if you just would have locked me up. Now you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
He's not saying I need to make 45. He's saying, guess what? I was the NFL sack leader last year. I'm one of the 4 best DNs in the league. You're going to pay me as such. Doesn't mean you need to pay me like Miles, but it needs to be close.
Yeah. County Administrator Jeff Aludo said, we're having direct conversations with the team. No one is slow walking this process. We're moving expeditiously. We're moving purposefully on this. And so the city has got people just going, whoa, wait a minute. Where in the world are you getting this? We are dragging our feet and we don't have a sense of urgency. We've been talking with you guys. If you want a bit greater sense of urgency, you guys do something about this.
Yeah.
Also, instead of just putting it back on the team, the county is now saying, we also need to be treated as equals in the state of Ohio, because this is kind of granular here, but Cleveland, they got $600 million in state-backed bonds to build a $2.4 billion stadium in Cleveland.
Good God, that's a big stadium.
Yeah.
2.4? Jeez.
Well, that's kind of the going rate now. I mean, isn't it,
I guess with what they're trying to do with stadiums now, it makes sense.
And what they're saying is the county's going, hey, just because we're on the Kentucky border down here, we're getting treated like the redheaded stepchild.
I mean.
And what they're doing is they shut the Bengals out in the Cincinnati and Hamilton County out of any funding to help improve the stadium and keep the Bengals there long term. And so at least the county, though, is saying, look, we're not dragging our feet, and we'll come to you with that, Bengals, but we're also getting shut out by the state for any funding that's coming through when they're giving over $500 million to Cleveland to facilitate their new stadium. And guess who that is on? That's on the Bengals, because the Browns have been proactive. I'm not for taxpayer money going to stadiums.
No, but if you're going to get a piece,
it's on the team to prove your case as to why, right? And so
the Browns said, hey, we'll move again.
Apparently the Bengals are too.
At which point I think they just kind of go, fine.
That's mean. I love the Cincinnati Bengals.
I do too. They're my AFC, non-Raider AFC team that I love.
Yeah. I loved those old Bengals teams. Ickey Woods, Boomer Esiason. They were awesome.
Yeah, there's just something about that colorway, that jersey, the
helmets
Tiger
are
Strike
elite.
helmets.
I love those helmets.
There's just something about that that's just you love.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So maybe the Bengals VP, Katie Blackburn, should just take the next play off, right? Let's make sure if somebody asks you a question, maybe it's okay just to say, no comment. because right now the last 2 comments that we've heard, not great, Bob.
Well, maybe she should just take a page out of the old Cincinnati Airport's playbook and go ahead and move across the river into Kentucky.
Damn. We could play wherever they want.
Again, there's making PR gaffes, and then there's don't talk to public.
Yeah.
She is in the don't talk to public stance.
Yeah.
Like if I am the president of that team, I am the owner of that team, I am going as far as muzzling her.
Oh, wow.
Like what are you doing?
Yeah.
Even if that's truly what you believe, what are you doing?
Well, I think Portland should take her up on it. Move the Bengals to Portland.
Portland Bengals?
Yeah.
All those we got lions or the tigers down the safari, don't we?
There's a tiger at the Oregon Zoo.
There you
dude.
go.
Right here.
Yeah.
I mean,
So we have at least one tiger here.
everybody thinks of tigers when they think of Cincinnati, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody.
And bearcats.
Right.
What is a bearcat?
It's a fictional animal. Yeah.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
It is. I learned that when I was at Willamette.
Willamette Bearcat. It's not a real thing.
It's not a real thing.
Is it like a what's the
It's actually kind of impossible
Yeah,
to breed a bear into cat.
Is it like a what's the half human centaur? Is it like a mythical creature like that? Is a bearcat like a mythical creature? Like it's quite literally like a blending of the two, like a sphinx or a griffin? Or
I
is it
think
just
it's more like an argument of like bears. No, we're gonna be the Wildcats. No, we're gonna be the Bears. Fine, Bearcats.
I mean, bearcat does roll off the tongue well.
It sounds good.
It sounds good.
Sounds like it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's not.
I would have thought maybe it was like a big cat that lived in a cave.
No.
Cat cave?
Nah. That's just Scar from Lion King.
Yeah, see, it's Bleeble. That's a bearcat.
You're right.
Yeah, see?
You're right.
Solving the world's problems one at a time.
Is this problem on the NFL or NIL? Jed York of the San Francisco 49ers raises a pretty interesting question. Danny and Dusty on the Fan. Jed York of the San Francisco 49ers. A lot of money there with Jed York. The CEO of the team has had a really interesting quote at the NFL owners' meetings. He said, when guys with NIL are making more than a third-year NFL pro, there's something wrong with the system not being able to extend guys earlier in the NFL. He was talking about the rookie pay scale, and obviously his quarterback at the forefront of that with Brock Purdy. And everybody said it's the sweetest deal in sports right now is what Purdy was playing at as a 6th-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Or 7th-round pick. But I think that quote is pretty interesting on a few levels in that he's saying, look, in the NFL, we should be able to extend guys earlier if they are making well below market value for them. I find it interesting for him to say that because of the fact that they didn't have the money to pay Brock Purdy a lot of money, and I think a lot of teams are probably happy with paying rookies lesser deals.
We've done this once before. Sam Bradford.
Yeah, Jamarcus Russell.
Yes.
Just these monster rookie deals.
$60 million guaranteed.
Of guys that never lived up to it. But I think what he is saying, though, is that the rookie slotting works, right? It is, once you know you got that guy, you should be able to open that up and pay him a little bit more. But you can also look at this and say, is this an NFL problem or is it an NIL problem?
I think it's an NFL problem. I think it's a supply and demand and market rate deal because this whole idea of like, well, you know, some college quarterback can be making more. Well, it's like, well, it's more valuable to the university to pay that player that much money. That's the deal. And the idea that you drafted Brock Purdy to be your starting quarterback, no, you didn't. That's why you took him with the literal last pick in the draft.
Yeah.
In college, a guy like Bryce Underwood getting that money is because they are investing in him. That is it's the quote unquote draft, as it were, of college football.
Yeah.
They're getting their money because they're getting paid to be that guy.
Yeah.
And in the NFL draft, when you're getting paid to be that guy as a young guy, you're taken earlier. That's the way it works.
Yes.
And the idea that you want to open this up earlier because it would have like this sounds a little bit like, no, we wish we could pay Brock. We couldn't, you know? Like that's what it sounds like, as opposed to, yeah, no, we wanted to give Brock Purdy $40 million in year 2. Like, well, no, you didn't.
A guy with a team that has to make really tough decisions on their personnel and their roster, I find that fascinating that he would be the guy of all people to say that.
Doth protest too much.
Yeah, I feel like they are completely fine with that, but he's also looking at it from a landscape that it is pretty ridiculous that you have got college quarterbacks that are making 2, 3, 4 times as much money as a quarterback that led a team to a Super Bowl. Not a victory.
No.
To the game, though. An NFC championship win and is playing at the highest of levels. But I also think, though, that what you said about if they believed in him, they should have taken him in the 2nd round then. You take him with your 1st round.
Was Robert Kraft angling to pay Tom Brady earlier?
No.
Well, what round was he drafted in, Dusty?
6th round. He was 199th overall selection.
Okay.
Yeah. Thomas Edward Brady, Saint.
Kind of putting that out there. It's the whole idea of like the Warriors are the smartest front office of basketball. They got Draymond Green in the 2nd round. The Nuggets are so smart because they got 40 other times passed before if they would have known, they would have known. Like they weren't angling to pay Jokic earlier, angling to pay Draymond earlier.
Yeah.
That's the nature of the beast, man. It's the way it goes.
But with the NIL too, I also think that he's kind of missing the mark on this conversation too, because nothing has been collectively bargained like it has been in the National Football League. When you collectively bargain between the league and its players, these are the parameters that the league, the teams know they're operating under, and the players when they enter the league understand.
And the players pushed to take the money away from the kids because they were sick and tired of kids not being worth it.
Now, is it a little bit funny that you sit there and you go, there's a lot of guys in college football that are never going to be the quarterback Brock Purdy is?
Making more?
But are making 5 times as much as he is?
Sure.
Yeah, that does. It smells a little bit fishy.
But also, how much is that money in turn generate revenue for those schools.
You are worth what you're paid. And that is where Jed York is like, yeah, Brock Purdy is worth more than what we're paying, but they ain't going to call takebacks on that. No, they won't.
They wouldn't have been able to build the team the way that they did.
No. Found it a fascinating comment from
Especially from him.
From Jed York.
Of all people.
Who is loving the fact that he does not have to pay Brock Purdy for several years.
I would be interested to see if the team was in the exact position they are right now and Brock Purdy is going into year 2, if he had the same feeling.
No, because now he has to pay him.
Yeah.
And now he's like, we would have loved to pay him before.
Yeah, and that's when it feels like a doth protest too much.
We would have loved it if we
back then. Yeah, no, I mean, Brock, we just can't, man.
Yeah.
CBA, it's a problem.
Yeah. He's lying. I know this play. Rust, you know this play. You lie to your children. You tell them things that you know.
Yeah, you just can't do it.
You know the rules, but you got to frame it a little bit different to them. It's like, oh, no. Yeah, we can't go get ice cream. It's closed. 6 o'clock.
2 hours later.
We used to joke with the kids about if they were throwing a fit and Fred Meyer would say the Fred Meyer police would come get them if they didn't quiet down.
Oh, striking fear into children. I like that.
Dang.
Yeah.
You mean like the people sitting at the door on the rascal?
Well, you know,
they're gonna
don't have to point at anybody in particular, but you know,
they're all watching. They're like Santa.
What is this, Philadelphia? Do they got a prison in the bottom of the stadium there?
Yeah, exactly.
What are we doing?
Just throw them back in the manager's office.
That's a good play. The Fred Meyer police.
Fred Meyer police.
Put you in the white walled room.
Is it the big teddy bear? He comes out and just cuffs you?
Well, at the 158th and Walker, they have the giant Lego Iron Man. It's about 8 feet tall.
Yeah, that's a big Lego.
Yeah.
You know, Legos were on the brink of bankruptcy. Yeah.
When was this?
This was like 20 years ago.
Okay.
And then new CEO, like they were weeks away, and new CEO came in and was like,
rebranded.
We are going to change the game here. And they just started selling more of the sets.
And now they're like insanely expensive.
People riot over, it's like Black Friday shopping anytime that you have any of these Lego sets.
Limited edition sets.
You have people like fighting each other. Kicking each other.
I went to the Lego store during Christmas to get my nephew a Christmas present, right? And there was a line 25 people long consistently, and they only allow so many people in there. Even then, it was shoulder to shoulder. Yeah. And I was just like, I don't remember it being like this. I mean, obviously Christmas time is a little bit different, but still, it was like,
well, we went just a few weeks ago on a random weekend,
and there's a line.
Saturday, and there was a line.
Yeah,
it was probably only like 7 or 8, not people deep, but groups of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Legos and Pokemon cards, people go nuts over.
And I think I finally learned in this last year that it's not called. You don't refer to. There is no plural Legos. It's just Lego.
Oh God, they're Legos. When you get one and under each foot, they're Legos.
Yeah, nobody thinks of the Lincoln Logs. Lincoln Logs left behind in this.
Yeah, no kidding.
Know? You used to be able to build stuff with Lincoln Logs too. Only cabins, though.
Yeah.
The thing about Lincoln Logs, though, was you had to be careful when you played with those in the sandbox.
Oh, yeah, they look like poop.
Yeah.
That's not a Lincoln Log.
Yep, could still build with it, though.
Reinforcing, as it were. All right, coming next on our worst day on the web. Look, we were going to do this one yesterday, but Jog just blessed us with his stupidity.
Whoa, hold on.
What?
Dude, this text. Lego flowers are big sellers and a game changer. Guys, buy your girl Lego flowers. Not only is she getting flowers, but you keep her out of your hair for a while she puts it together. This is the hack.
You know what?
This is what you do. You go, hey, I got you some flowers. She's building that. You're going golfing with the boys.
They had those in the Valentine's section at Target.
You're going golfing with the boys. Let's go.
He's not lying.
This is great.
When I bought that Lego set,
I
got a gift with purchase because it was stupidly expensive, and it was a picture frame. It's probably like a 8x6 or 8x4 or whatever it is, like the full size photo frame that you build out of Legos, and it's a lot of the smaller pieces. And I set it down. I didn't think about it. She's like, "Oh, you got this for me," and I was like, "Yeah, I did.
Sure did.
Sure did." And she spent like 2 hours putting it together. And I was like, oh, you like this? She's like, yeah, that was fun. That was cute. And I was like, oh, okay. So thank you for the reminder.
Yeah.
I gotta keep
Look
that one in the
at that.
pocket because it turns out they like them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who knew?
Look, I had an Instagram bio. I don't have to worry about this. My wife's not listening right now. She's teaching. With Mother's Day, Instagram had a puzzle that you can put your wife and kids on.
The family photos, yeah.
No, it's not the family photo. I didn't want to. She would have just been pissed doing that.
Oh, okay.
But I got her like it's like a cartoon, and she is Wonder Woman.
Oh.
And kids are each superheroes.
Okay.
And it says best mom ever. 1,000-piece puzzle. I got a couple days.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got a couple days.
The kids will sit down with her.
Yeah, we're going out. We're
I
golfing.
I like it.
We're golfing, fellas. Don't tell her I said that.
There you go. Perfect.
Yep.
Well, depending on where you want to golf, it depends on how safe you could be. That's our worst day on the web. Which states would fare the best in a hypothetical alien invasion? A group called the Giga Calculator actually did the math on this and found the best and worst states in the country based on a lot of metrics.
I got a low-key initial guess here.
I know what you're going to go with. Not number one.
No.
Okay.
No, I got a wild card.
Okay. We'll get to that coming up next. But first, it's the Big Kahuna Sports Center Update.
That's that Hawaiian burger joint.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, the Trailblazers road trip continues this afternoon in Toronto, facing the Raptors. It's a 4:30 tip on KUNP. That is Xfinity Channel 302 or KATU 2.2 on your antenna. DeAndre Ayton, Scoot Henderson, Robert Williams III all out. Jeremy Grant doubtful, and Anthony Simons is questionable. The Blazers are 4.5-point favorites. ESPN Shams Charania reports 76ers star guard Tyrese Maxey ruled out for the rest of the season with a finger tendon injury. He has not played since March 3rd. Multiple reports say the Raiders and quarterback Geno Smith have agreed to a 2-year, $85.5 million extension with $66.5 million guaranteed. And ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting the Cowboys acquiring quarterback Joe Milton III and a 7th-round pick from the Patriots for a 5th-rounder. Round 1 of the Valero Texas Open at TPC San Antonio. Kashmir Keith Mitchell at the top of the leaderboard after an 8-under 64. He is 2 strokes clear of Brian Harmon at a 6-under par. Tony Finau tied for 6th after a 3-under 69. Nice. Jimmy Walker, Jordan Spieth tied for 29th at 1-under par. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan Merch Locker has a new black 1080 The Fan hoodie, as well as classic long and short sleeve tees. Get yours now at 1080thefan.com. It's time for today's worst day on the web. With Danny and Dusty on Odyssey and 1080 The Fan.
Oh, really? That sucks.
Well, if you're listening on the terrestrial radio, you're in the zone of Oregon or Washington. You might be a tinfoil hat wearer of sorts and believe in the ETs, the extraterrestrials, the aliens, as it were.
Hell yeah, brother.
Beyond that, you may have even thought, you know what? I'll be good if an alien invasion ever breaks out. I'm a doomsday prepper, or I've got a bunker, or I've got supplies, or my location is prime. Look, I've talked to some of these people before.
You've talked to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've talked to them.
Yeah.
You are not one of them.
I am not a prepper in that sense.
You tell me you don't have a closet full of supplies.
I have a go bag.
Yep. Well, of course you have a go bag.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're different, but we've talked about like my family and close friends, like where we would all go if anything kind of ever broke out.
Mm-hmm.
And it ultimately ends up being my parents, because they have a big piece of land, they have their own well, they have the ability to generate their own heat and electricity.
All right. You've got your fallout shelter.
Yeah, no, and there's actually a semi-truck trailer on the property for storage for stuff for the company. It's like, we can move that in front of the driveway and start barricading. It's like we could there's a little sniper
this is the
position.
least surprising thing that I have heard.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. This is very on brand for you.
I mean, look, it's just all part of everything. But this company dove into this data based for every state. Okay, ranked them from 1 to 50, and so the things they ranked it on was population density per square mile.
All right.
UFO data, so average duration of UFO visits, and then UFO sightings per capita. Then the landscape data, so the number of caves, the percent of the area covered by forest, percent of area covered by bodies of water.
All right.
Okay. Your next group is your military and defense.
Okay.
So total military force per 1,000 people, and then law enforcement per 1,000 people. And then the final.
That may be okay.
Mm-hmm. The big category is science, engineering, and medical professionals. So number of scientists per capita, engineers per capita, and healthcare professionals. Okay.
All right.
And then food source, a number of food and beverage manufacturing companies.
Okay.
Okay.
That one. All right.
Where is your you had your guesses?
Yeah.
Your dark horse.
Mine is now changing. My dark horse was and it actually fits with the science and military, but the police I'm not quite sure of. My dark horse was going to be Alabama.
Sir, you are number 2.
Oh, hey!
Alabama comes in with an alien survival score out of 10 of 7.91.
Yeah, because sightings going to be real high, okay? They do have a lot of scientists there. The Rocket City Trash Pandas, they have actually... In Alabama, there are a lot of
they're actually
NASA.
lower on the list of sightings per capita.
Oh, really?
Alabama's at 2.76 per 10,000 people.
Wow.
Highest on the list, Maine, I believe, is at 8.6. Nope.
Shocker.
Vermont, 9.51. So they see a lot of them. They don't have a lot of people.
Okay. So I'm going to say based on that criteria, though, I think that you have to think of this logically. I'm going with the Pentagon, right? Is in Virginia.
Ding, 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 ding.
So much military.
Their total force per 1,000 people.
Yeah.
I believe only one state is higher, and it's Hawaii, and it's because it's an island and Pacific Command is there.
Yeah.
So you have Pacific Command for the Air Force, for the Navy, the Army, and the Marines.
Yeah.
So you have 4 literal command structures
in
Hawaii. So
yeah.
You have a Pacific Fleet. You have the PACAF, which is Pacific Command for the Air Force. Like that's
right.
That's why. Okay. But otherwise, yes, you are correct.
And now, hold on. Is the amount of guns in the state not taken into consideration here?
It is not taken into consideration, which would bump, I think, in your specifically if you're talking about per capita, it would bump a lot. I'm going to spoil it now. Oregon is very far down the list.
It should be. should be.
So Oregon is the least populated military state. I've talked about this before. We have less active or veteran members than any state in the country.
Yeah.
There is not a single active duty military installation across all branches in the state. I believe the biggest active installation is the Umatilla Chemical Depot, if I'm not mistaken.
And then probably the Klamath Air
Air National Guard,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Portland Air National Guard, I believe, was the biggest, but they downsized and moved a ton of it to Klamath Falls.
Okay.
And then you've got the Armory in Salem. Like, that's pretty much it.
Yikes.
But they also are dead last in law enforcement per 1,000.
Okay. Because I feel like in this, there's the science is flawed here. Because there has to be a hillbilly ratio. Because I think Alabama gets you there, and that's where I was like, also Virginia. You start getting into like Western Virginia, you're getting pretty. You can give me some. I think like citizens with guns needs to be taken into account here, because I would believe also, like I'm going with. They have big Air Force base and military presence in Missouri. Where's Missouri on the list?
Missouri is about middle of the pack.
See, and that's where they would get a big amplification in the Ozarks with the hillbilly quotient, right?
See, what hurts them is their percent of area covered by bodies of water or covered by forest. They actually come up short.
Okay, all right.
So.
I think, okay, covered by forest should be taken far less into consideration than hillbilly factor.
Look, again, I'm not familiar with the entire methodology or how they weighted it.
I think Oregon would get a little bump with our hillbilly factor as well.
And
People don't think of our state being a hillbilly state.
It's mostly a hillbilly state.
We got hillbillies, man.
Outside of the 45, 50-mile radius of Portland,
well,
it's pretty bumpkiny.
If you go 10 miles off of I-5 in any direction, if you go east, you go west 10 miles, brother, those people are going to kill some aliens.
Yeah.
Like they are going to, they have improvised explosives on their property.
A little tannerite. Have a little bit of fun.
I mean,
they're not federally regulating it. So.
We don't screw around like this. I am, I feel we're slighted. I feel Missouri is very slighted in this.
So here are your bottom states.
Okay.
Nevada, dead last, then Idaho, Arizona, Nebraska, Oregon. And here's where Nevada and Idaho fall short, okay? They don't have caves. They don't have any real forest cover. Idaho does have some, obviously, but percent area covered with water, very low.
This is bunk. Area 51 is in Nevada.
Trust me, I get it.
It's where the aliens are. Guess where they're coming to go get their bros?
Well, it's also in the wide open. There's a reason why we set up Nellis Air Force Base on our test facility. Our bombing range is out there because there's nothing out there and there's nothing to hide.
Easier for us to mow them down.
I mean, you can see them coming, but also they fall drastically short in the number of scientists, engineers, medical professionals.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Where Oregon scores very high is the number of food and beverage manufacturers. There are 1, 2...
That's right. See,
3, 4, 5, 6 states with more food and beverage. I'm leaning Oregon probably starkly more towards the beverage department than food, but
yeah, and again, beer. We're gonna be all liquored up fighting these aliens.
Beer and guns.
Yeah, dude. All right. Let's see here.
Florida man is 6.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, again, if you're adding the hillbilly quotient and the gun quotient, Florida's 1 or 2.
Hey, well, you just lure them aliens out in the Everglades.
Yeah,
That's how we solve our python problem.
You want to?
The non-invasive or the invasive pythons? Yeah.
You want to go tinfoil hat here? The bodies of water being a big part of this. Aliens don't come from space; they come from the ocean. Have you heard that one? Like,
I watch Ancient Aliens.
I'm mildly subscribing to that. That's where they're hiding out. Okay,
in the ocean.
That's where they're hiding out. Yeah.
We know more about space than we do our own ocean. So
you're right. See, here we go. Fan text line 503-864-6326. Just because hillbillies have plenty of guns doesn't necessarily mean they're good with them.
Well, yes. on the whole, that is true. Most
I'm gonna take them against the aliens, though.
most hillbillies with guns are prior military,
Mm-hmm.
or they have been around them their whole lives.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I am a vehement advocate for responsible gun ownership.
Yep.
Like that, no doubt about it. Don't get me wrong. There are plenty of dummies up and down the political, racial, age spectrums.
Look,
It knows no bounds.
I'm not gonna lie though. If these aliens have horns,
Mhm.
dude, a hillbilly shooting
Oh,
someone with
kidding me?
horns, those things
Trophy?
are done.
Yeah.
Those things are done.
Got me a trophy game?
Bam! Side them up. Let's go. This text says, heading up to Corbett, bro. It'd be like Red Dawn up there. Yes. Where is Colorado on this? Where's Colorado on
Colorado
the
is I just saw
list? They got a lot of
them.
forests. That's where
Where did they
Red
go?
Dawn takes place.
Well, and that's where they got the bunker for Paradise.
Colorado is 33rd.
Don't like it.
So
Now,
they have pretty high sightings and durations of aliens,
sure.
but they don't have water,
Mhm.
and their military is actually on the lower side than I expected.
Citizens with guns would be more likely to get their whole state wiped off the map by provoking the aliens. I don't know.
I mean, didn't you see Independence Day? You had old Quaid flying his
yeah,
fighter.
Randy Quaid.
Flying his fighter.
Boy,
hey
he's
boys,
gone
I'm
off.
back.
He's gone off the deep end.
Yeah.
He's
But the hillbilly might be the one that saves the day.
yeah. This text, my wild cards, Montana, armed ranchers in New Mexico. New Mexico ranchers ready, armed on the border.
Yeah, but New Mexico grades out pretty poorly in basically everything except for total military force,
Yeah.
because the only thing down there
Mm.
really are military installations, and that's about it.
It seems like a
it's-
solid game plan to
Yeah, but
fight
again-
the aliens.
But again, it's wide open.
yeah. Where's Washington?
Washington is towards the bottom. They're 42nd.
Okay.
Very, very, very similar to Oregon.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 41st, excuse me. Yeah, no, the sneaky one in here, Wisconsin. Wisconsin comes in at 7.
They got a lot of lakes,
That's
got a lot of forest,
yes.
have a lot of medical
Yes, but
scientists.
they are very low on law enforcement and military, though.
Okay.
But they basically smash everything else, including food and beverage,
See, that
cheese and beer.
that fits the mold of drunk country folk mowing down aliens. Look, I'm not gonna lie, we're all doomed.
Alaska is the one for me.
Yeah.
Alaska ends up finishing what 9th on the list.
Who are we kidding? Those aliens wouldn't go up there. They'd be like, it's too cold, man.
That's the thing.
not doing this.
You got home court environment.
Actually, I guess space is pretty
Cold. Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Maybe Florida melts them.
But it's interesting because you start thinking about like, well, Oregon's green, and you're like, well, when you go east of the valley, no, it's not.
No.
It's mostly high desert.
Yep.
Most of the state is.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we're so used to the greenery here through the valley and the mountains.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, what are the aliens going to do? Oh, they'll start a tsunami and they'll kill everybody west of the valley.
I'm not kidding. But that's not that many people on the coast.
Yeah.
Sorry, RJ, who's listening. And it's like, dude, you're going out. That tsunami's taking you out on the coast.
I mean,
Like,
that
they're
sign goes really far up
It's
the,
going to
up
go.
the highway.
Yeah.
The tsunami zone.
Yeah.
That's always one of those ones that creeps me out a little bit. Basically, like, once you cross this line, you're screwed.
Yeah, I don't
Like-
think the aliens are going out to like Christmas Valley, Oregon, though.
Nah.
They're going to be like, no, you guys are fine.
It's not traditional warfare when you're dealing with aliens. You're not like everybody talks about. Well, you've got like this natural border of like oceans and things like. Well, if they get in the country and they can just kind of float around, it's like, yeah, they're going to go to population centers first and then work their way around.
Yeah, what if they did go the Red Dawn route, though, and they went like, because,
Middle of the country
yeah,
insertion.
like the Soviets and Cubans went, yeah, we're going to go from Colorado out.
Mm.
That was the dumbest war plan of all time. Not just that it was derailed by some high school kids, but it wasn't a good plan to begin with.
No, you're landlocked. You can't manage your like. Look, wars are won through supply routes.
Yeah,
You cut off-
Colorado, not a small town in Colorado, not the way to go.
No, look, if it was a major railway and you could gain control of like the thoroughfare of all, like this is why New Mexico for the Manhattan Project was set up.
Yeah.
They ended up setting the railroads to go through there so that all of the sites could be connected together. Now, if they inserted through New Mexico and we're going to control a major rail station that was the exchange point for the most protected material in the world when you're talking about uranium back then, maybe you're cooking with something.
Yeah.
But we don't do things like that anymore because we have the ability to mobilize our military better than anyone with aircraft and naval vessels.
There you go.
So,
All right.
we
Aliens.
there you go.
Virginia.
It was just one of those things like I had to talk about this somehow, some way because it was just like,
I'm here for
I'm
it.
glad somebody took the time to do
I'm
this.
here for it, and I'm here for the conspiracy theories that go around it.
What about Virginia? Ooh.
Yeah. What about Virginia?
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Number one even?
Yeah.
Number one even?
Yeah. Maybe.
All right. Let's move back to a little bit of basketball. We got some news out of college basketball as it pertains to the upcoming Final Four.
Big news.
That is going to have a major impact. We'll get to that next year on Danny and Dusty, Tonight the Fan. Big news out of Auburn as it pertains to the Final Four. Their all-world player, Janai Broome, is going to be a go, and he says he's going to be 100%. I find that hard to believe after it looked like he sprained his knee, ankle, and shoulder or elbow all in the same play, but
Teacher Blazer.
he's going to go.
Yeah, he's trying to be as close to 100% as possible. Duh. right? I will be interested to see where he's at, because if Auburn knocks off Florida with Janai Broom, then we start having a conversation about the most outstanding player with Cooper Flagg, and he has a little bit of competition. If you were to look right on the betting markets right now, Cooper Flagg's minus 105 to be the most outstanding player in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Walter Clayton Jr. has the second best odds at 4-1. Janai Broom is at 10-1.
Mm-hmm.
It goes up through the roof if, one, he knocks off Walter Clayton Jr. and gets to the championship game, but then you have like your Willis Reed moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guy playing injured, grinding it out, and piggybacking his team all the way to a championship game. That's the thing that legends are made
They'll get
of.
excited about that.
And if he is healthy, it gives Auburn a chance. I think if he's not
They don't
close
have a
to 100%, I don't think they have a chance.
Look what he's in that game. Was it 25 and 14?
Yeah.
I mean, look, Todd Pettiford is a big time player for them, and he's been incredibly impactful.
I heard Jason McIntyre say he's going to be a lottery pick.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Oh,
No, he's not. He might end up being a first round pick though. There's that talk has been out there, but him like Jeremiah Fierce from Oklahoma is declared for the draft. He will be a lottery pick.
mm-hmm.
Like that's the reason he's coming out. ESPN has him ranked number 7. I don't have him quite that high, but 6'4" guards who really show out and do stuff in the NCAA tournament. Yeah. And again, Fierce is the only player in college basketball right now younger than Cooper Flagg. So,
Really?
yeah. No, Fierce has got the goods.
So he reclassified,
He reclassed as well.
a
He's
year early, and he's just a little bit younger.
month and a half younger.
Wow.
I think he's at early November.
All
If I
right.
remember right.
All right.
So you're talking about a kid
So he'll
that's
be playing regular season games at like
18.
years old.
Yeah. Not too many guys have been in the league at 18. Both
Yikes.
him and Cooper Flagg both will be.
Kobe.
Kind of nuts to think about.
It is
Like,
crazy to think
Kobe
about.
might have been the last guy. Because I think
yeah.
Martell was 19.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the last high school. I think Outlaw might have been. Trout might have been. Because it's after the Institute of the One and Done, was that 08? 07?
Let's see
It was
here.
so long ago.
Andrew Bynum,
Oh, there you go. Bynum.
2005, youngest player to ever appear in an NBA game, 18 years and 6 days.
Barely.
Little baby.
Yeah.
Jermaine O'Neal, 18 years, 53 days. Jim Brown, not that Jim Brown. In 1948, he was
God.
18 years old. Golly.
Wouldn't surprise me if it was that Jim Brown.
Kobe was 18 years, 72 days, which is 4th youngest all time. I'm looking at recently guys that have debuted.
I'm trying to think of the other straight from high school to NBA
Amir
guys.
Johnson was 18 years,
Amir was
268 days.
Wow.
And then the most recent guy is Ulrich Kamachi.
Oh yeah, Chomchi. Yeah, last year.
Last year.
Yeah, he was
18
super
years,
young.
298 days.
Yeah. No, okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
All right, coming up next, we're gonna keep it in the basketball world. We didn't get to this yesterday, but we're gonna give him his flowers. Carmelo Anthony made the selection. Duh. We'll talk about his candidacy, as it were.
Danny's
and,
favorite player.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna give him his flowers because it's the time for that. We'll get that next year in hour number 3 on Danny and Dusty, Danny the Fan.
From the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Jeff Rust with your Sports Center update. First on The Fan, the Trailblazers road trip continues this afternoon in Toronto against the Raptors. 4:30 tip on KUNP, that is Xfinity Channel 302 or KATU 2.2 on your antenna. DeAndre Ayton, Scoot Henderson, Robert Williams III are out. Jeremy Grant doubtful. Anthony Simons is questionable. The Blazers are 5-point favorites. Over in the NFL, multiple reports say the Raiders and quarterback Geno Smith have agreed to a 2-year, $85.5 million extension with $66.5 million guaranteed. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting the Cardinals making Trey McBride the highest paid tight end in NFL history with a 4-year, $76 million extension. $43 million are guaranteed. Schefter also reporting the Cowboys have acquired quarterback Joe Milton and a 7th-round pick from the Patriots for a 5th-round pick. We'll take you to round 1 of the Valero Texas Open at TPC San Antonio. Cashmere Keith Mitchell all alone. He's in the clubhouse with an 8 under 64. 2 strokes clear of Brian Harmon. Sam Ryder now all alone in 3rd place. 3 strokes off the pace at 5 under par. Tony Finau tied for 9th at 3 under. Jordan Spieth 1 under par. Justin Rose an even par 72. And Jimmy Walker not so dynamite now. 2 over through 12. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Hot Corner, now in its new time. Tuesdays at 7 after Isaac and Sue on Portland's Sports Leader, 1080 The Fan. Danny Meringue.
And then I went to this movie theater, and then I made a noise like this.
Dusty Hera.
Then this was horrible. All the people started getting sick and throwing up all over each other.
I'm beginning to like this kid, Mike.
This is Danny and Dusty on the Odyssey app and Portland's Sports Leader, 1080 The Fan.
Hour 3 here on Danny and Dusty on a Thursday afternoon. When you're listening on 1080 AM, watching along on youtube.com/1080am the fan or twitch.tv/1080am the fan. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for hanging out with us on this wonderful, wonderful Thursday. We didn't get to it yesterday, not as a slight to him, just we had some stuff yesterday. Carmelo Anthony has been notified that he will be a member of the 2025 Basketball Hall of Fame. And
Deserving. Deserving.
And for those that
You know how my bop, how my bounce, how my pop.
you don't have what he says after rebounds.
No, can't air that one.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
F out of here.
F out of here. But for those that don't know, it's not the NBA Hall of Fame. It is the Basketball Hall of Fame, which encompasses NBA, other professional careers overseas, internationally, Olympic, and college. Now, college has their own college basketball Hall of Fame, but the Basketball Hall of Fame encompasses basically college and on. And Carmelo Anthony has one of the most historic marks in college basketball history. He was a true freshman who led his Syracuse team to a national title and was the most outstanding player of that tournament. That's pretty damn good.
Well, his NBA career also is a Hall of Fame worthy career.
Oh, yeah, no.
A first ballot Hall of Fame worthy career, too. Like his international career, which is what a lot of guys get into the Hall as well.
Four-time medalist.
Drazen Petrovic was in because of his international career before. And, yeah, he's an all-time scorer, man.
He's 10th all-time currently.
Bucket getter.
And what was surprising
He's 12th now.
Well, yeah.
12th all time.
Didn't they just get passed?
Nah, KD passed him a while ago, but James Harden is nipping on his heels. James Harden is about 700 points away. It's pretty good.
So, yeah, next season.
Pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, but Melo's career, it lacks a ring, but it has medals. It has a national championship to it. And we talked about it last week with what he did as a freshman at Syracuse and how impressive it was.
The thing about Melo, when I looked at this, I was surprised. Did you know he was only a 6-time All-NBA player?
No, but that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me because remember it was by position for the longest time too, and he was competing alongside LeBron James and Kevin Durant. That is going to change things.
But it just shows you how just wing heavy.
Yeah.
The NBA was at that point in time. Now we're in that kind of super guard heavy. Like you're like, oh, that guy could be an all-star. Or that guy could be an All-NBA, and you look and you're like, he's the 12th best guard in the league. No, he's not. Never mind. It's like there's just so many good guards now. That was a period where, Dwayne Wade kind of went back and forth between the 2 and the 3.
Yep.
And it was positional, non-positional. You had guard/forward. The weirdness there. But I was a little bit surprised at Carmelo Anthony being only, quote unquote, a 6-time All-NBA player. It was like, The career marks for Melo, 22.5 points, 6.2 rebounds, 2.7 assists in his 19-year career.
He was never a first-team All-NBA guy either.
Kind of crazy for you to be like, this guy's a first ballot no doubter, and it's like, well, he doesn't have an MVP.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a first-team All-NBA. He doesn't have a title, and yet he's so high up.
He was second team in 2012-13 to LeBron and KD. Then he was third team behind LeBron, KD, Kevin Love, Blake Griffin. He was second team to LeBron and KD again, and he was also second team alongside in 2009-10, Dirk Nowitzki. You had to throw him in the mix in their position. Then he was third team behind Dirk, LeBron, Tim Duncan, and Paul Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
And he was on the third team alongside Pau Gasol. Also a third team with Kevin Garnett in 2006-2007. That's because Tim Duncan, Dirk, Chris Bosh, Tim Duncan and Dirk were first team.
Mm-hmm.
Bosh and LeBron were second team All-NBA. And then another third team in 2005-06 behind LeBron, Dirk on the first team, Elton Brand, Tim Duncan on the second team. And then it was Melo and Sean Marion on the third team. Dude, he played with some dominant forwards.
Yeah, that 3-4 era in the NBA was pretty damn good.
Golly. You want to talk about loaded, man.
I mean, Sean Marion's the worst player on that list.
No, and then there's guys.
And I don't say that as a slight to the Matrix. Like, that's a holy crap.
Yeah,
Sean Marion's the worst player on this list.
You want to talk about the guys that snuck up and kind of
got one here or there?
Snipered him off of the list. You'd look at Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady. You got Pau Gasol, Carlos Boozer in that year that he had in Utah, where he just was absolutely insane.
And Duran went crazy.
You've got LaMarcus Aldridge and Zach Randolph plucked him off a list one year. You've got...
That's what happens when you stack 20 in 10 years.
LaMarcus and Paul George, along with Kevin Love. Good
Remember,
Lord.
Kevin Love in Minnesota was a bleeping monster.
DeMarcus Cousins held him off a team one
Boogie
year.
had like a 28 and 12 year.
Kawhi Leonard obviously came into the league and then started taking up spots on there. Draymond Green also in 2015-16. Like his career, like you look at it and you go, yes, 6 seems like a low number, but then you read the names of other guys. Jimmy Butler, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like, golly, he is overlapped with the best era of forwards the NBA's ever seen.
And out of everyone you just named in there, Elton Brand is probably the only one, and Boozer are probably the only ones that are not going to make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, 2 outliers there.
Boogie probably too, because his career was shortened. But otherwise, yeah. So 3 guys on that list that he got knocked off by are also Hall of Famers.
Nuts. But Melo deserves it, man. His career was incredible, and he was a guy that never got a ring. Got in the way of his team winning championships at times.
I mean, he left a Denver team that lost in the Western Conference Finals to the Lakers, and he forced a trade that stripped his Knicks team of assets.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big issue. And his inability to take a subservient role in the NBA, yet when he would go to the Olympics, he was playing fourth
the most
or fifth
complimentary player maybe in USA men's basketball history. I am a firm believer that if Melo had accepted that idea and played with another star, that he had Dwayne Wade it or Chris Bosh it, had really figured that out, he would have been looked at differently, because I think he probably would have won a title.
No doubt.
And you would have been like, okay, he did it.
Mm-hmm.
He did it. because like it wasn't that he wasn't a winner, it's that he had to win on his terms, and that ultimately ends up being, I think, the downfall of the best players ever who don't win a title, with the exception of maybe Barkley, because Barkley tried to go do the thing.
Yeah, he chased it. Ring chasing doesn't always work, man.
I mean, Melo did at the end.
Yeah, with the Blazers. Oh.
Yeah.
No?
No, the year after the Lakers.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
When he was willing to come off the bench. Weird how that works. All right, let's get back to the NFL a little bit. There's some backup quarterback, not necessarily controversy, news for one team as they figured some things out, and news for another that we all saw coming on draft night last year. Danny and Dusty, Today the Fan.
Check
Well, the quarterback carousel has mostly come to a stop, but the backup world is still dancing around a little bit. And you had two moves today. One of them for Joe Milton getting moved.
This is going to be hilarious. It is going to be hilarious. Joe Milton, former Tennessee quarterback, Patriots drafted him last year. And if you don't know about Joe Milton, he has got an absolute rocket for an arm.
It's a howitzer attached to his shoulder.
He can throw the ball really, really far. This is going to be hilarious because he has stepped in and showed some functionality at times. It is going to be perfect because what is going to happen is Dak will get dinged up with something at some point. Joe Milton is going to come in. He's going to throw a moon ball that damn near hits the scoreboard in Jerry's world. And
that Cooper Rush could never touch.
Jerry Jones and the rest of the Cowboys fans are going to be giggity over. And then Dak will come back. He'll have some inconsistent performance, and people will flip out wanting to see Joe Milton as a starter.
Are you
and I cannot wait for it.
Are you saying this is like late in life Al Davis?
I cannot wait for this. Yeah, it is he didn't draft him first round like Darius Hayward Bay, but it is he can throw the ball a mile. I love that.
The Jamarcus Russell of it all.
I mean, honestly, Joe Milton is a guy that you just sit there and you say, we have one Hail Mary shot. We're 70 yards away. We are going to put Joe Milton in and let him uncork a ball from 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage to your 75-yard just moonshot down the field. Other than that, probably not going to want to see a lot of Joe Milton.
CeeDee Lamb can go up for that ball, right?
You're damn right. He's just going to run. He's just going to run and just be fast, go get ball. Yeah.
Well, the other side of this backup
be hilarious.
world is we all saw it on draft night when the Atlanta Falcons drafted Michael Penix Jr. And we saw the general manager and the owner on camera having a disagreement of sorts.
You did a what?
Why did I just spend $100 million guaranteed on Kirk Cousins if you're going to draft his replacement right now?
But why did we do this?
Kirk Cousins is asking to be outright cut because a trade cannot be facilitated.
Well, yeah, because your contract, which is fully guaranteed, is an albatross, and teams don't want it. So what he wants is to be cut and have the Falcons just eat his salary instead of having him as a backup. Yeah, good luck with that, man.
I think we're going to find out nice guy Kirk, not so nice when he's not playing.
Yeah, I don't think he has that in him.
You don't think so? I mean, he's already ruffling more feathers than I thought he would.
But, yeah, he wants to be cut. Wish in one hand and whiz in the other and see which one fills up faster, bro.
You like that? You like that?
You're not gonna. You're not gonna like that. It's not gonna be good.
No.
Because you wanted the money, they gave you the money, and you really should not be upset about it because of the fact that they drafted a guy that performed better than you. It's a performance-based game. And now if you want to get cut and you want to go somewhere else, sure, go ahead. But you also shouldn't have negotiated a contract that is so punitive if a team wants to do that. That's why you negotiated this contract, is so if you played poorly, then you had safety.
Yes.
You still have safety, and you played poorly.
You know what else he has in his contract, right?
What?
He has a no-trade clause.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. But at this point, like, where wouldn't you want to go? Because if somebody's going to trade for you, it's so you can start, and you're not starting in Atlanta. Like, good luck, dude.
I mean, we give the Wizards hell for the Bradley Beal deal. Is Cousins worse?
No, because it's still not the worst in the league. Deshaun Watson, which is where Kirk Cousins wants to go.
That's where he'd end up.
He wants to go to Cleveland.
Which also seems to me, if that's out there, it means Cleveland has probably contacted him, which leads me to believe that Cleveland is not looking at a quarterback in the draft.
Well, because it's Shedeur Sanders. And, like, there's a lot of smoke to this, the everything that's coming out, that Shedeur lacks size. He doesn't have elite mobility. I don't know why when a lot of the draft evaluators are still on he doesn't hold on to the ball too long. Yeah, he does. And they chalk it up to the poor protection, which is true.
Yes, it is.
Protection was poor. But even when he had clean pockets, he would hold on to the ball too long.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem in the NFL.
Yeah, that clock gets sped up a whole second and a half more.
There's mocks that are coming out now that have him sliding down to 9th and going to New Orleans. And that would indicate that Cleveland doesn't make a move on him. The Giants don't make a move on him. The Jets don't make a move on him. And he just continues to kind of fall down. And then New Orleans will say, all right, we got Derek Carr for another year. Let's
screw it. What else we got to lose?
Let's draft and stash and see if Kellen Moore can work his magic with Shedeur Sanders.
As a Raiders fan, I'm glad that is just kind of being like,
well, yeah,
we're good.
Sorry, yeah, the Raiders would pass on him too.
Yeah,
and like that, they have Geno for 2 years. That's not a long-term fix.
Mm-mm.
But what it is going to signal, if they really do go running back, it's just like, all right, we're going to try to figure this damn thing out.
We're going to try to win. And whatever win is, let's be a functional organization.
It's going to be really hard in that division. That division's going to be...
it's going to be tough.
So damn good.
But hey, having competency would be fun. I like having competent teams.
They do have competence.
And that's not something you could say for the past, other than a year or two here or there, for the last 20 years.
They still need a receiver.
Yeah, no, Brock Bowers is going to have to catch a lot of passes.
Yeah.
A lot of passes. It's a tough place to be. All right, coming up next, speaking of tight ends and catching passes, the Arizona Cardinals have a record-breaking deal in place for their tight end. We'll get to that next here, coming up with Danny and Dusty. But first, it's the Big Kahuna with Sports on Update.
I hear they got some tasty burgers.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
This update brought to you by Vulcan Design and Construction. Check out their award-winning outdoor living designs or schedule your free design consultation at vulcandc.com. First on The Fan, Trailblazers road trip continues this afternoon in Toronto against the Raptors. It's a 4:30 tip on KUNP. That's Xfinity Channel 302 or KATU 2.2 on your antenna. DeAndre Ayton, Scoot Henderson, Robert Williams III are all out. Jeremy Grant is doubtful, and Anthony Simons is listed as questionable. The Blazers are 5-point favorites. Multiple reports say the Raiders and quarterback Geno Smith have agreed to a 2-year, $85.5 million extension with $66.5 million guaranteed. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting the Cardinals making Trey McBride the highest paid tight end in NFL history with a 4-year, $76 million extension. $43 million of that is guaranteed. And Schefter also reporting the Cowboys acquiring quarterback Joe Milton and a 7th-round pick from the Patriots for a 5th-rounder. Round 1 of the Valero Texas Open at TPC San Antonio, and Kashmir Keith Mitchell's first round went as fine as his nickname might imply, an 8-under 64. He is 2 strokes clear of both Brian Harmon and Sam Ryder at 6 under par. Tony Finau tied for 9th at 3 under. Jordan Spieth tied for 15th at 2 under par. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Russ from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Do it every morning. Dirt and Spray. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. on Portland's Sports Leader. 1080 The Fan.
Texting and
This just happened a little under an hour ago. The Arizona Cardinals have extended tight end Trey McBride to the most lucrative deal for a tight end in NFL history.
Yes, finally, tight ends getting the respect they deserve.
Who doesn't love a good pricey tight end?
They are so valuable to an offense, and I can't believe how undervalued they have been over the last decade.
So much of that has been on the positional slotting arbitration.
It is
what is it, like
stupid.
14 million or something like that?
It is so dumb. These guys need to get paid. You look at every Super Bowl winning team, contending team, they have good tight end play. They have elite tight end play. Look at Tom Brady with Rob Gronkowski, Patrick Mahomes with Travis Kelce. A tight end matters tremendously, not just your passing game, but your running game as well. And I don't care what people want to say about Travis Kelce in being a subpar blocker. He can get enough done. And you always have to account for where he is.
And he makes up
and
for
it's
it
an
by
advantage,
being
man.
a god tier receiver.
It is a wholly great advantage. And Trey McBride gets 4 years, $76 million, 43 guaranteed. So he's going to be averaging like $19 million a year. Yeah, they should be in the $20 million range for great tight ends.
It's really interesting when you talk about great tight ends. The idea that and I don't mean this in a derogatory fashion towards somebody like DK Metcalf. I think DK is really good. He's the type of receiver that I like. Big bodied freak that can high point the ball, all those kind of things. What's more valuable today? A $30 million wide receiver who's a top 10 wide receiver, or a $18 to $20 million tight end who's a top 3 tight end?
Who's barely in the top 10 receiver. And that is a miss. That is a miss. The truly elite receivers are worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, absolutely.
They are worth it.
And even the next tier down when you're talking about like the A.J. Browns and the Amon-Ra St. Browns, like they're worth it.
Yeah.
When you get into that next group, though,
your tight ends are more important.
Right? And it's
your
like
elite tight ends
and
are
you
more
get
important.
them for a third less, sometimes more.
Yeah. It's a wild wrinkle in the market that just doesn't make sense. But I'm glad Trey McBride is resetting the market, kind of escalating it a little bit. And now,
are you surprised it was him?
No, because he was the next guy up, and he is elite, man. I mean, he's 6'4", 250, runs a 4.5. Yeah, he's really damn good, dude. He is a very good receiving tight end, especially. I'm not surprised that it's him just because he is up, but if you're George Kittle who's entering a contract year, you're pretty happy about that because you're not going to get the longevity of it with where Kittle's at in his injury history in his career. But you're going to get
you might get a spike
couple year deal, 2-year deal. That's going to be
2 year 44.
Boop. You bump that bad boy up a little
22
bit.
a year.
Brock Bowers got to be very happy that these numbers are coming up right after his rookie year, where he's going to have a few years to kind of escalate his value, and it's going to be through the damn roof. It's a good thing that tight ends are going to be paid more money, but also we have to remember, like, he reset the market at $19 million per year. The salary cap ballooned this year, so they're still underpaid and undervalued.
Yeah. And it's going the contract folks that are out there, the CBA folks, all expect it to balloon again, not to the exact same extent, but a sizable amount.
And look, as the game continues to swing back towards inside the tackles and running the football, and that being more prevalent, the value of the tight end goes up even more. Okay.
What's also interesting is you look around the NFL right now, how many truly great young tight ends are there?
There's quite a few. There's quite a few where you got Bowers, McBride, Sam Laporta is really good. TJ Hawkinson in Minnesota, very, very good. And then you have just like this escalation of, I think the floor of the tight ends has gone up.
That's where I was going to get to, because like you look at the draft this year where you've got Loveland and Warren.
Yeah.
Do you think either of those guys are going to be bad tight ends?
No.
They may not be Kelsey's, but like when I look at both those guys, I look at number one, physical profile. They're both enormous. Yep. They can both do a million things.
They can run.
And you just look at them and you're just like, okay, with where the game is going now, do you see like the floor of that tight? I don't think you're going to see many of the. I mean, don't be wrong; they'll still be on a roster, but just blocking tight end. I think you're getting the. I think you see this in the NBA. You can't just be one thing anymore. Mm-mm. You have like the sport is evolving, the athletes are evolving, and the level of tight end play, even at the bottom, is rising. Even if the very top, there's only so much more room to go.
Yeah, I'm happy for that group. They're a lovable group of meatheads that they're an extension of your offensive line and an extension of your receiving core. Right?
So it's two different types of crazy.
Yes, and if you don't have a great tight end, your offense is not great. Pretty simple.
How Eagles?
Dallas Goedert?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Goddard. Yeah, never mind. Yeah. Why? I had Selleck in my head still for some reason. I'm like, what? No, you're right.
No, yeah. they got Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, Goddard.
And they're really damn good at that
position. I'm just trying
position.
to run through. Yeah.
The Commanders have Zach Ertz.
Yeah, who had a nice bounce back.
They brought him out of semi-retirement.
Yeah. I mean, he just got beat to hell.
You got Dalton Kincaid. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got Knox. I mean, all of the great teams, they have great tight ends.
Texans?
Yeah, the Texans have
got... Yeah, they've got Schultz.
Yeah, Dalton Schultz.
Yeah. God, I mean, the proliferation of the tight end is happening.
Yeah, I mean, literally and that's going to be the thing. Like, that is why everybody thought this past year Jim Harbaugh would go into the draft and say, I'm going to get me a tight end. You know, that's why they thought Brock Bowers to the Chargers was the no-brainer. And they opted to go Will Dissly instead, he's a fine tight end. But he ain't that guy. And they may, look, if a tight end drops this year, they may be ready to pounce on a tight end early in this draft. But we'll see where the Chargers go. But that was an interesting one. They did go Joe Alt, which pretty good
pick.
Pretty good call. But
it just showed you Harbaugh's pecking order. I love my tight ends, but I love my tackles more.
He wants the offensive line and then go do your extension of the O-line.
Yeah, take care of that first. All right, coming up next, I want to make sure we got this in as there's not much time left in the season. It's not Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, but we have one of the greatest record chases in sports history coming down to the wire this season. We'll dive into that next here on Danny and Dusty, 1080 The Fan.
It's time for Legends of Hoop, an inside look at the college basketball championships. Brought to you by Legends Casino Hotel, within winning distance.
Part of his genius is the fact that he can win a game with scoring, rebounding, steals, blocks, you name it. Whatever you need, whatever that game requires, he finds a way to come up with those plays to help us win.
That was Duke head coach John Shire on with SVP last night, talking about what's ahead of the Duke Blue Devils, and he's not wrong. I mean, that's the thing about Cooper Flagg is what everybody loves about him. Whatever you need, he can do.
His gravity has allowed the other two freshmen to shine. It takes a lot of the pressure off of them, and we've seen how consistent and how dang good they are. But the thing that I love about Cooper Flagg the most, he defers when he needs to.
Legends Hoop is brought to you by Legends Casino Hotel. Escape to Legends Casino Hotel within winning distance. Just a short drive to Toppenish, Washington. The ultimate destination for fun and relaxation. LegendsCasino.com.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to
Prime Time with Isaac and Sue.
In my head, I just have it that it's just white or black. No. But apparently we're getting very multicultural.
I do like that the second biggest population is white Hispanic.
I don't know what that means.
I'm guessing it's half Hispanic, half white.
Well, I know what that means, but
you said you didn't know what it means.
Well, it was rhetorical. God, I hate you guys.
The home of Prime Time with Isaac and Sue. Weekdays 3 to 7, 1080 The Fan.
Time is ticking away. Don't let another minute pass. Plan your retirement now with Trajan Wealth for the future you deserve. Call Trajan today at TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Danny Meringue here. Guess what? It's springtime. The best time to get those home projects you put on the back burner taken care of. Old windows costing you money on your energy bills? Is your bathroom stuck in a time warp? Spring forward with a serious upgrade. Get it done with YHIC, your home improvement company. With their biggest sale of the year, it's a once-in-a-year event, so take advantage because these guys are a game changer for your home, and here's why. They've got an unbeatable deal. 50% off your window purchase, plus free labor with a minimum of 4 windows. It's a deal that you just don't want to miss. Even better, there's easy financing, 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 12 months. That's all the way out in 2026. Imagine turning your bathroom into a spa-like retreat. You can transform your space with up to 30% off, plus an additional 10% off and a free shower pan or bathtub. Call 503-837-2348 today to schedule your free in-home consultation. Whether it's windows, bathrooms, or both, now's the time. This is their biggest sale of the year. Call 503-837-2348 right now. That's 503-837-2348. You're going to love the difference with your home improvement company. Go to YHIC.com to find out how. Trust me, YHIC will exceed your expectations and make your home better. Don't wait. This only happens once, and it's happening this month. It's the biggest sale of the year. Call them today and love the difference.
And Doug. Quickly, Moo. We don't have much time. This Liberty ad is already almost over. We only have a few precious seconds to remind people to customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Okay. Well, I guess we had more time than I thought.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Danny and Dusty on the Odyssey app and 1080 The Fan.
When we were in Washington, D.C. for Army-Navy, we had Zach Leonsis on, the son of Ted Leonsis, who owns the Washington Capitals, Mystics, and the Monumental Sports Entertainment Group. And we, because we had recorded some stuff, we had some time to sit down and talk to him before we had him hop on live.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about, at that point in time, Ovechkin was getting ready to come back, and he was going to pursue Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal-scoring mark, and how excited he was and how much he loves Ovi, his family, how much he means to the community. And it is a hallowed record when you're talking about anytime you're passing a Wayne Gretzky in anything.
Yeah, the points record is one of the most untouchable records in sports, which is goals and assists in hockey.
Yes.
And
Wayne Gretzky is 900 points beyond. If you take away his goals, he's still, what is he, second? No, he's still first.
Yeah, he's still first in all-time points.
Good God.
The points record will never be touched. The greatness of the great one is something that we won't see in our lifetimes because of the longevity and just the sheer volume of what he was able to do and the game kind of changing. But
Ovi just overtook Gretzky in games played.
Ovi has scored for so many damn years.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like a lot of the guys, when you see like the pictures of them in the locker room and stuff, Alexander Ovechkin looks like the dad of many of the players on that team.
He's old enough to be.
And the fact he's still scoring and he's only 4 away from knocking off little Wayno.
With 7 games remaining. The math says, because he's at 39 goals in the season, which a 39-goal season at his age is bonkers. It really is. But the math says he will get it on the last day of the season.
That is nuts. But what you're going to see with Washington is they're going to try to manufacture a lot more.
Oh, every power play, every empty net, every single opportunity for him to put puck in net, he is going to get.
And if you look at where they are currently sitting right now in the playoff hunt, they have clinched their points. They're not going to be caught in all likelihood by the Carolina Hurricanes, barring a dramatic meltdown and turnaround by Carolina. They're going to win their division. They're in. They're steady. Now let's see if we can get Ovi the record.
He only has one multi-goal game since late November.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's only been stacking singles here.
So that was before the injury.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was maybe late December. Might have been right when he came back.
Okay. It's going to be tough, but I want to see it. It'll be really cool. And I think that this might just be that if he gets it, that's it for him. That's the swan song.
Yeah.
He's right off into the sunset.
He's got a cup.
Be Ovi.
He's been
Yep.
When
And he did it with one team.
That's the crazy thing. And Crosby has been as great as he has been with the Penguins. And that's one thing. Like when you look at this list, like Jaromir Jagr, Penguins legend, played for Pittsburgh, Washington, New York, Philadelphia, Dallas, Boston, New Jersey, Florida, Calgary. Like if you look at these lists, the only guys that are single team guys in the top 10, Mario Lemieux, Steve Yzerman, Alex Ovechkin.
Yeah.
And I remember when Ovi and Sid came into the league, I chose one, and I chose Ovi because I loved the power game that he played with and the hair on fire. And you can say Sidney Crosby's the more complete player and all those kind of things, but
he's a beautiful player.
He is.
Fancy lad.
But there was just something about Ovi that was just perfect. You know what I mean? And like, as far as like capturing he was kind of the bad boy.
I don't care enough about hockey to pick one.
No?
No. But what he's doing is...
Are you going to tune in and watch a little bit of the chase?
Yeah. Well, am I going to watch a full hockey game? No.
So let's going into the night. He's one away. Are you going to tune into a game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If he's one away, that's when I'll start.
Going into the game, he needs one to break it.
Yeah. We'll flip that on.
Okay.
I'm big on the history chases, but yeah, I'm not going to do.
So for those that are
I'm not
wondering,
watch last 7 games.
Total right now: Alex Ovechkin 892, Wayne Gretzky 894.
Ooh, all right. Wait, what?
Yeah, 892 to 894.
He's 2 away?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. All right, go Alexander Ovechkin. Let's do this thing.
So Ovi is, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. He's 11th in career points, too. Joe Sakic is in between him and Sid Crosby.
Ooh, Joe Sakic. Let's go Joe Sakic.
There you go.
All right.
I just wanted to get that in there.
I like a little hockey talk every now and then.
I do, too. The Portland Trailblazers do have a game tonight.
Yeah, they play the Raptors, man.
They're more like the Craptors because everyone's sitting out. Because they've been officially eliminated from the playoffs. There's nobody playing for them. And with the Kings losing to the bleeping Wizards last night, the door for the Trailblazers into the play-in is mathematically open.
No.
So God only knows what they're going to do tonight.
Okay, but it's not just you're chasing the Kings. You have to leap the
pass
Suns
everyone.
too.
You have to pass both of them, which means you have to win every game.
And those two teams play each other. So it's not 3, it's 4.
Yeah, it's 4 no matter what.
Let's not do this.
Yeah.
Let's not do this.
I liked it better when they were less than 0.1%.
I want to, they went to Toronto there. I got there last night. I'm too late. Call Border Patrol or something. Get the team hung up there.
Sick the Mounties on them.
Just be like...
report something in somebody's bags. Make them slow it down a little bit.
Yeah. And just be like, oh, no, they couldn't make it to the game. Forfeit, lose. Raptors win. You know?
I mean, the Mavs were close to forfeiting earlier this season.
I should have thought of this earlier. Give me more DB Hooper. I want more Justin Minaya. I want more Ryan Rupert.
Oh, we're going to go
Duop Reith.
French connection, baby. Rupert and Sissoko.
Sure, let's see it all.
Go full French sickos.
Let's watch this thing.
Sissoko's out, I think.
Was he on the list? God bless.
Another one? All right.
I didn't look at earlier's.
R.I.P. to Glory Days, too. Joe DePew, who nobody should know that name. He's was a 75-year-old carpenter and substitute school teacher. He passed away. He was the inspiration for Bruce Springsteen's song "Glory Days," where
Get the hell out.
Yeah. He said he could throw that speedball by you, make you look like a fool. Glory days, right? That line was inspired by Bruce Springsteen's little league teammate Joe DePew, who was like a high school phenom. and had a tryout with the Dodgers after high school. Didn't make the team. And didn't make the didn't they said, "Yeah, thank you, but yeah, no thanks." So then he went and played basketball at King's College, a D3 school in Pennsylvania, and ended up becoming a carpenter and substitute school teacher. But Glory Days, all-time great song by the Boss.
Was he getting royalties?
Probably not. But he was a good friend of Bruce Springsteen because they played Little League together, where apparently the Boss sucked at Little League.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Picked up a piano, though.
Yeah, and guitar, and Courtney Cox in his music video. You know? What song was that for? Dancing in the Dark. Dancing in the Dark, yeah. He was dancing in the dark. Pulled Courtney Cox right out of that stage. Who'd have known? She'd become a star of Friends.
You know where she was a star?
Where?
On The Longest Yard.
Oh, she was the girlfriend, the crazy girlfriend. Yeah.
Alex P. Keaton's girlfriend.
She was great on Cougar Town too.
Yes, she was.
That show was good. That show was funny, raunchy and funny. Yes. All right, that does it for us on this Thursday. We'll be back for a Friday edition. Up next, you got 4 hours of power from their mouths to your ears. We got Prime Time with us again, Souk. Have a great Thursday, everybody.
Bye.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off